This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty. Yes, welcome aboard. It is time to rock and roll here in the morning. We are at VSS West Pines. I got my incense going. I got my peace of mind going. And they asked me today, they said, okay, so what do I do here? Well, what kind of incense do we use? And they gave me several choices. And one of the choices was peace of mind. And I said, well, I'm an Iron Maiden fan. I love Boston and Tom Schultz, not the other kind of Boston you guys would think about, Celtics and Lakers and all that. No, Boston, like the rock band, like Tom Schultz. And they have a song called Peace of Mind, and Iron Maiden's got an album called Peace of Mind. So I said, get me Peace of Mind. And there you go. And so we're having a little peace of mind here on the program. Good morning, everybody. Hope you all are doing well on a beautiful Wednesday. As always, we're at VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by. Like I told you, it's where Barefoot Mailman and Spencer's meets CBD. That's basically what it is. And so you can come on out. You can get little things like this, like the incense holder here for you, which it normally, the thing is sucking it up right now, the AC above. But if you don't have it, then it'll just go down this way and all the way down. It's already doing it. It's already like the little stream is already starting, which is pretty cool. And it'll probably happen once it gets a little lower. But anyway, so they've got all kinds of groovy little things here that you can check out at 12397 Pembroke Road. We got a bunch of things to talk about. Michelle Kaufman is going to join us at 1:30. There's been enough going on the football side with Inter Miami, so I figured we check in since they've got their players already practicing actually at Inter. So that is good news, and they're moving forward overall, and hopefully it'll be something that will be a sign of the times from here on out. Hopefully we'll start getting back to normal. I'm still kind of pessimistic about all of this because I still have a problem. If they don't have massive testing, I almost feel like we're going to get some of these sports back, and then they're going to pull it away from us right away because something's going to happen. I mean, look at UFC. They already had somebody test positive, over the weekend, and they had to eliminate one of the fights. Today, by the way, one of the fights was eliminated for tonight's UFC match, but that's because one of the fighters didn't make the weigh-in. That's why. He was overweight, and so that's why they called off that fight. It had nothing to do with COVID, but I'm sure they're all being tested too, in the process. It's almost like I've got to see it to believe it, you know what I'm saying, in order for it to happen. And so that's where I would tell you that I am still kind of skeptical about all of this, and we'll see. Well, we shall see. What we got here on the chat board, Robin Mars is chiming in. Matthew Walker, not even 2 minutes, and we have a dislike. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, man, listen, that's the idea. You got to have some people that are going to like, and then you're going to have the people that don't like, right? That's kind of what it is. Ian from Brooklyn's in the house. Peaster83 is in the house. Thomas Cook says, good morning from Oklahoma City. Tom and Andy, work. Let's go. Big O, we are working and enjoying here every day. Thank you, sir. Akari Curvell is in the house. John Santos, the person who keeps putting dislike as a loser. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, man. It's just the way it is. RC in the 305. What's up, people? Big O, talk to me, bro. Tim Suppley is in the house. NorCal Big O just got done rocking out to Tool. And let's see. Tool Numa Before your show started, Danny Carey is a badass drummer. Well, Tool's a hell of a band. Troy Ortiz says good morning. Omar's chiming in. Ryu is also chiming in, says, did you listen to Devin Townsend, Stormbending? I did not listen to Devin Townsend yesterday. Call of Duty 1, it takes Tua to make a thing do right. It takes Tua to make it out of sight. I like it. Alex Toledo is in. R. Castell is in. DJ Gallagher. Miami Miracle. Martin Leiden. Martin out in England. Hope you're safe out there, my brother. Let's see. EM88. Mark Rodriguez. Ola from South Lakes, Texas. Julius 305. R. Castell 6. It's amazing. Flipside Fishing. Just a whole bunch of people chiming in on the chat board. So thank you all already for chiming in and locking it in with us here throughout the day. Bunch of things. First of all, let's start off, and I guess it's some of the bigger news of the day. Charles Barkley was on with Le Batard, and this has kind of become a thing that people went off of Barkley's soundbite, where he was talking about Marino and Tua and how Marino should give him the number 13. Okay? Let's play Charles Barkley on with, what's it called, with Dan Le Batard's show yesterday. And here's Barkley talking about Marino and Tua and number 13.
You call Dan Marino and tell him to let Tua wear his number, man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Listen, I got my number retired by the 76ers, and they called me. It was 25 years ago, and they said, hey, somebody want to wear your number. And let me tell you something. When Magic got HIV, to salute him, I wore 32 for a whole season. I called Billy Cunningham, and he says, of course you can wear my number for the season. And I wore it 1 year to celebrate, to show my love for Magic. And the Sixers called me a few years ago and said, hey, somebody want to wear your number. I said, is he a good player? They said, yeah, he's going to be a good player. I said, no problem. Because my name is retired. The number doesn't matter. So call Dan Marino, who I love to death, and says, yo, man, you Dan Marino and always going to be. Let Tua wear his number, 13. Yep. Come on, man, get on it.
All right. So, first of all, let's not get all freaked out on this, okay? We're going to have some fun with this. First of all, it's a moot point anyways. Tua has number 1, okay? Tua has more awareness and class and appreciation for what he's doing and respect that he didn't want 13 anyways. He wasn't demanding it or nothing. He knew right away, yo, that's Dan's number. He's the mayor down there. Like he knew right away that Dan is the man, and he wasn't going to go in there and disrespect the franchise and Dan by taking the number or demanding it. Okay, and maybe to a certain extent it's not disrespectful in any way, stretch, or form. Let's just throw it out there. But the young man chose to go down this path. And by the way, I think Tua did the right thing in going to number 1. Okay, choosing another number, not necessarily 1. What I'm saying is going away from 13. Now, let me spin this to Barkley, because this is what I really want to do. Okay, Barkley doesn't have one team and doesn't have one legacy. He bounced around, dude. He left Philadelphia. He went to Phoenix. He went to Houston. The guy bounced around. So he didn't stay on one team. He had success with Phoenix. Then they tried that whole clown show in Houston with all the old guys, him and Pip and all that, and it didn't work out either. Okay? So for him, it's really easy because he's not associated with one team only and one number. Dan Marino is. Dan Marino is a Miami Dolphin from day one to his last day. He has been number 13 from day one to his last day. This is who he is. And then here's the flip side of all of this that, to me, I find deplorable, disgusting, disrespectful, pathetic. It sickens me, all of this. People just, again, Charles Barkley, not one of us, not a South Floridian, not a Dolphins fan, doesn't bleed orange and aqua and orange like you, like me, well, like some of you that are watching. Not all of you are Dolphin fans. But what I'm saying is a lot of people that watch this show or listen, they are Dolphin fans. And we care about the team, and we care about Dan. And Dan means something to us, and especially us older fans, the ones that actually watched his entire career, you know. And for me, I had the pleasure of watching and covering both. I did a large portion, most of his career watching, and then the tail end of his career, his last, I want to say it was like 7 or 8 years, I covered him as a player. And so I had that pleasure. So to me, it means a lot. And I know it means a lot to Marino. And so let me ask you, why should we throw the burden on that on Marino now? Why should we bother him with this? Why should we put him in an uncomfortable situation that he was never thinking of giving up the number? Or maybe it's something that he doesn't really care that much about. But the bottom line is, why burden him with that? You retired his name and his number, right? Well, then keep it that way. He earned that, right? Yeah. So then why are we going to take it away? There's plenty of other numbers. And so you know what I find humorous, okay? Charles Barkley is willing to tell a legend that represented his team from day one to his last day, owns all the records. It's easy for him to tell him, oh, no, to give up the number because that's it. Because it doesn't mean squat to him. But yet, he'd rather tell the guy that accomplished something, the guy that's identified with the team, to accommodate somebody that hasn't done anything for the team. Look, I hope Tua wins 10 Super Bowls here. Okay? First of all, I'm just hoping he can stay healthy. All right? So this kid's career might last 2 years. And we went through all this about 13, and it went 2 years. Now, his career may last 20. It may have 5 titles with it. It may have the GOAT title next to it. Whatever. Then you'll say, okay, we went all through this. But my point is, why do we have to burden Marino? Why do we have to bother Marino? Why do we have to insult Marino? So let me ask you something. Why isn't it just as easy for Tua to go to another number? Why doesn't Barkley just say that? Why is he willing to put the person that paid their dues already, that is identified with fans by the team? Because when you talk Dolphins, you think Marino. That's how it is. Sixers, you don't say Barkley. You're still going to say Dr. J before you say Barkley. I mean, are we going to be honest here? Are we going to call it like we see it? Right?
Probably shortly thereafter, Allen Iverson.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying. It's just, so it's so easy. Well, no, let's bother Marino. No, dude, the kid can adjust. The kid can do it. And that's exactly what he did. At no point did he ever ruffle any feathers. At no point did he ever disrespect anybody. Because because that's not who he is. He just signed his contract. And right away, he's telling you that I'm going to start now some charitable programs in Hawaii, Alabama, and here in South Florida. This Tua guy is just, he's special, man. He's a special human being. You know what I mean? It's we got one of those dudes. We got one of those Tebow, Russell Wilson types. You know, again, not talking about the specific talent. I'm not saying Tua is like Tebow as a player or like Russell Wilson as I'm talking about the human being. We got one of those kind of dudes. That's what we have in town. We have one of those dudes that like everybody gravitates to all over the world. That guy, We have one of those guys. And that guy has a lot more self-awareness about where he stands, what he means, what he wants to he's a giver. He's not a guy that is just all about me. No, dude. He's a team guy. He's a family guy. And so, you know what those kind of individuals do? See, Charles Barkley doesn't know about these things because he's not that guy. Those kind of guys come in and say, what can I do for you? How can I make us better? He's not talking about, okay, what can you do and how do I benefit from it? Okay, I'll do this for you, but where do I win? Okay, yeah, I'll do that, but how much am I getting paid? That's not who Tua is. And he's proven it over and over and over and over again. And then here's one more thing to all of this, okay? I used to watch Saturday Night Live as a kid, still watch it. But back in the day, Garrett Morris played Chico Escuela. That was his character, Chico Escuela. And he had a line there that said, baseball has been very, very good to me, right? And we used to laugh when Chico Escuela used to do that line and all that stuff, Garrett Morris. Well, let me just explain something and spin it to Tua. 13 has been very, very bad to him. Okay? Hip injuries, ankle injuries, hand surgeries. 13 was bad luck for him. He had a lot of injuries with 13. So, you know what? Here's the flip side. Get away from 13 and use number 1 or 5 or 10 or 47. I don't care what number you picked, because the number doesn't matter in his case. Now, he doesn't have to be measured to the other 13, which is what would happen when you're wearing that number. Because the Cowboys, you know, they've done 88 to several people, but it's Pearson and it's Michael Irving and it's Des Bryant. And then if you get 88, which I believe CeeDee Lamb got it, CeeDee Lamb has to now perform at a high level. Because now the pressure's on CeeDee Lamb. I'm sure he wants to perform at a high level, but if he doesn't, they're going to say, well, that guy's wearing Drew Pearson and Michael Irvin's number, and he's playing like crap. And so you don't need any of that. Tua doesn't need to be measured on every throw with the other guy that wore 13. There's no other guy that wore 1 at quarterback. I know some of your – I had to mention quarterback because if I say, look, no other guy's been wearing 1, you know, the Garrow, your premiums of the world are going to come out. No, I'm talking about quarterback. So the Dolphins have no history at quarterback at number 1. Hey, we've been looking for somebody to turn this franchise around. Maybe he's the one. You know? So it's nice to start the new chapter with Tua, with a new number, okay? His opportunity to build his legacy now here and be that number 1 now. And it's a great number in this sense. If he does end up being a part of this turnaround, which I believe is coming, it's going to mean a lot more that it's his own number, making his own trail, blazing his own trail. Since we are here at VSS West Pines, you got to think about blazing. Blaze your own trail and start your own tradition, man. So I would say to Barkley, you know, I get it, bro. You're the mouth of TNT, and you like to throw out all kinds of hot takes and all of that, but you're not one of us, dude. You're not a Dolphin fan. You don't really care about Marino. You don't really care about the team. So, you know, I get it. Everybody can have an opinion, man. That's fine. But to me, Barkley's opinion means nothing whatsoever, because he doesn't really care about what we're talking about. We do. And so I'm glad that Tua handled it the right way. Unlike Barkley, who throws midgets through windows. He handled it the right way. And he went in another path to form his own tradition and be his own person. And I think that's the right avenue for Tua to take. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105.
CeeDee Lamb is number 88.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
By the way, outselling all rookies that are not QBs. The only ones in front of him are QBs that are rookies. He is the number one rookie, non-QB selling jersey.
Yeah, you're right about that. In that list I had yesterday, you're right. He's behind Herbert, Burrow, and Tua. Yeah, unless you want to include Gronk, who's third. But again,
Gronk's
that's
not a rookie.
You know. Yep. Right. So that's it. And then it's Judy right after him, actually. And then Ruggs, two position. Well, Chase, then Ruggs. Then it's Hurts, Love, and then Claypool.
You know, you brought it up.
So really, it's all quarterbacks and receivers, and then Chase Young.
Well, Chase, In
the top 12, it's all quarterbacks, receivers, and one defensive end. How about that? So
you know, I remember you saying that when he was in high school, his number was 11.
Right.
He got 13 when he got to Alabama. His number.
Because Ruggs took it.
And situation such, Devontae's got 11. So what? Chop it in half.
Whatever.
Take one off. There's one.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big. But
exactly.
The part I love is that so many people are willing to put Marino in a difficult position, in an uncomfortable position, but not Tua, the guy that's done nothing and hasn't proven anything. So why take the tradition and the number that means something from somebody? Why not just start on your own? And now number one to us now has a whole new meaning. You know, hey, God bless Garrow, rest in peace, all of that, dude. Kickers, punters, they're essential. I get it. I'm not cherishing any of their
kick the ball in Flipper's pool, man.
Yeah, yeah. You have to win like 800 Super Bowl titles as a kicker for me to like cherish your number or something like that. So if Tua wants one, I got no problem with number one becoming hopefully a great tradition for Dolphin fans. That's what I'm hoping with number one. That's what I want. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited that number one means something else now. I'm excited to see that number one on the field. You know what? I'm excited to see you all out there wearing the number one. Because it's so refreshing. And now we see 13s all the time, home and away. We know what it means. Why get confused now? Now people can still wear their 13s. And now you can wear a number one. And now that goes along with any of the other classic numbers that we see out there often. Whether it's a Ricky Williams, whether it's a Zonka, a Warfield, whatever, the Marx Brothers, either one of those. I mean, that's what we're hoping, that number one becomes something really special for all of us. Hell, we're hoping that this is what turns around the franchise. I love the fact that it's a new number and a new tradition that's going to be started, hopefully, by Tua. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Who else we got chiming in? We got so many people. It's hard to get all your texts, man. Daniel Gallegos is in. Ricky Perez, Alexa V, she's in the house. Matthew Walker's there. Who else? Ty in the Bronx is in. EM Dolphin fan is in. NorCal says, big shout out to our Finn's Law, Roger Towie, keeping San Francisco working with his Dolphin hard hat on, listening to your show on the job site. Cheers, Finlaw Roger. Fins for life. Finlaw Roger, thank you, sir. And you be safe out there working, my friend. Thank you, sir. Ronnie Groom says, I watch every day on YouTube, Big O. Thank you, Ronnie. Much love to all of you out there. John Dirkschmeyer is also in the house. Michael Guerrero, Tua's a high-character guy, perfect leader for the Fish for years to come. I'm with you, man. Tom Bocero says, it's Chuck Barkley. He gets paid to stir the pot. I get it. It's just, I just find it just so ridiculous how he's just so willing to put Marino in a terrible position to accommodate a kid that's done nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. That's all. It's like, you should respect what 13 brought to the table, bro. What he did, you know? And, you know, Barkley can say, I love Dan Marino. Get the hell out of here, bro.
He's just a big spoon that loves to stir.
Yeah, you're no Dolphin Marino fan, bro. Get the hell out of here. You may admire him like I'm sure anybody admires his ass because he was freaking awesome. Big O, I'm one of the biggest Marino fans ever, but if it would have come out Marino to give him that number, I would have been fine with it. Tua's a great kid. I get what you're saying. You're right. But we shouldn't have to. Let Marino have his number, bro. Let him have his identity. We don't need to give it to anybody else. Let Tua build number one up. If he's going to be a stud, he'll be there, bro. And Tua gets it. Look, like Alexa just put, Tua's classy and respectful. That's it. Tua's a stud, man. He's just one of those guys.
If Marino would have approached him and said, hey, man, you could have my number, Tua probably would have said,
no.
You know what? No.
I respect it too much.
That's yours.
Yeah. Because I think Tua wants to have another number so he can do what Marino did, maybe even to a higher level, hopefully with a championship. Because I think that's what Tua wants. Because Tua sees what I see. Like, no, man, I'm not going to step on somebody else's, tradition and their name. No. I'll get another number, and I'll make that number my number, and that's it. That's all. No problem. You move on. Dean G says, I agree that a retired number is retired and no one can wear it again. I got no problem with it. Rosendo Marco says, what do you mean we don't have a history of number one as QB? What do you say about Super Bowl VII? What do you think about Super Bowl VII?
As Mike Bass runs down the sideline.
That terrific pass. Big O, what's up? What do you think? Clowney regrets not taking the Dolphins deal now that he might take less money somewhere? You know what I say? I got to tell you, Isis, I say screw Clowney. That's all. That's all I say. Screw Clowney. That fool keeps pricing himself out, and I get it. He had the knee injury, which sucked, so he never got to be the player that everybody thought he was going to be. He still turned out to be a really good player, but he's not the player he even thinks he is because he's not that sack artist that you need. And so he wants to get paid like the guy that gets you, 14 sacks a year. It's not who he is. He gets 9. And 9 is good. Don't get me wrong now, but you're not getting $20 million for that. And that's what he wanted, and now it's down to 17, 18. Now he's got to take less than that. You price yourself out, man.
Where do you think his bottom goes?
I think
13, 12?
Yeah, 13 or 15, I think. He gets something like that. Yeah. So we'll see. Let's see. What else do we have on the program? Robert Ritchie says, Big O, what do you think about MLB players rejecting proposal from owners of about 82-game season with profit sharing by owners? Well, the problem with it, Robert, is did they deny it already? I don't think they did yet. I haven't seen that, by the way. Now that you said that.
I didn't see nothing this morning, and there was nothing last night.
Yeah, I think you're wrong there. They proposed it. It has not been shot down yet. Now,
Tony, the only thing is Tony Clark did come out and have a negative. Yes.
You're anticipating that they will turn it down, but here's the problem with that whole revenue sharing thing. they had just agreed upon a per game pay, prorated, in other words. So what you would have gotten for 162 games, if you're playing 82, that's your salary. Half of it, in other words. So everything that you were going to get. So now the owners looked at the numbers and they said, well, if we do that, we're not going to get our normal share. We're going to get a smaller piece of the pie if we have to pay them this because of our expenses. And remember now that you may have to move teams, and we'll get to that. And then you also have to protect against corona. So there's going to be an expense to that on top of all of it. So they're looking at all of that, and they're saying, well, our profits are going to go down. So then they threw a curve at the players and switched the deal around and made it 50-50. So that way, no matter where the number is at, you split it. So then you put the players in a position that they're going to look greedy if they turn it down, because right now people are losing their jobs, businesses, all over the place, right? I mean, right now the world is hurting. Not just America, the world is hurting right now. And so then the players are now put in a corner. But see, the problem is, and it is going to be a bad look for them, but if we compartmentalize things and we take away the optics of this all, and we just think about the business of it, okay, now the players think like, okay, well, you're strong-arming us now with a salary cap, and then now when the new CBA is going to come in, you're going to try to implement the same thing and say, well, it worked here, and, the precedent was set and all that, and they don't want any part of that. So the idea of even allowing it in to their world is something they don't want, because then they have to then deal with it after down the line. And they've been hard line on that they do not want a cap. They like it they like forcing the owners to have their own discipline, because that's what the cap does, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they came up with a cap, because owners can't control themselves, right? And so since they can't control themselves, the cap forces them to control them, because it says you've reached your checkbook limit. You can't spend anymore. But in baseball, you can go crazy. And then the Red Sox and the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Cubs can pay more than everybody else. And so then they can go to max deals that other teams just won't. They can pay taxes that just other teams can't afford. And so that allows players to still go over to crazy numbers. And that allows the undisciplined GM, the undisciplined owner that is dying to win, spend a little more. And who benefits from that? The players. But if you put a cap on it, then you put a cap on everybody's earnings. And they don't want to do that. And so if you allow that just for this alone, the players look at it like, okay, well, we've allowed this in our house. This is going to be a problem to get it out of our house. You know what I mean? And so I kind of understand where the players are coming from all of this. It's going to be bad optics, okay? If they do deny it and all of that, players are going to look terrible. And I know the average person does not know what I just explained. They have no idea that they had just agreed on a prorated salary, and then now you just changed and threw them a curveball, now threw them a cap. And so now, and you threw it in public. So now you're forcing them. You didn't do this behind the scenes. You did it in public. So now now you put the players and the balls on their court, and now you put them in a position where they can look bad. So from my understanding, that's the way, it's playing out, and it's not a good look for the players. But I do understand where they're pissed off and why they may not be happy with all of this. I do understand that.
Yeah, because if you go, there's a new precedent, and you're the one that set it. So you're going to be stuck to that new,
you could.
Supersedes whatever was done previous.
Yep, you could. You could. Let's see. Alexa says, but with the pay that NFL player gets. Oh, okay. You must be talking to somebody else there. Dirk Schmeier says, we need MLB. No fan who cares. Just want to watch a sport live. Yeah, John, but business is business, my brother. You know? So what can you do? They've got to hammer out the business first, my friend. That's just the way it goes. Hank Goldberg's left nut says, owner's deal in March was ill-considered, not factoring in the possible loss of butts and seats. But players are the ones who are going to take the PR hit. 50-50 has common sense appeal to Joe Public. Exactly. Joe Public doesn't care. They say 50-50. Well,
it's even. It's even.
It's even. You're making millions. Shut the hell up. I'm broke. Shut the hell up. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. Shut the hell up. I'm 2 months behind on my mortgage. Shut the hell up. I can't make my car payment. They're going to repo my car. You know, I
have nothing. You're getting something, and you're saying no. Are you kidding me?
Right. Joe Public is going to hate the players. I know it. I get it. And I understand every side of it. I understand Joe Public. I understand the players. The owners I don't understand, but whatever. But they can get away with it. And they're trying. You know? What are you going to do? 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Hey, Michelle Kaufman will join us at 1:30. We're going to talk a little Inter-Miami CF. They are practicing. We've got some news coming out of the MLS. I don't know when we're going to get soccer back, but maybe we're getting closer. Also, George Richards wrote an article about the Panthers, and we are going to talk a little Panthers at 2:40 also on the program. So we'll have a little fun with George there. We got a bunch of things to talk about here on the program. I got a bunch of football things, some questions I want to ask you in football, bouncing around the NFL, a couple of things that I want to talk about. Also, a real problem for every sport is coming up. I've got something I want to two different things I want to talk about from The Last Dance that we haven't gotten into. There's some young quarterback talk, rookie quarterback talk that I want to get into, or second-year quarterback talk also. There's all kinds of stuff. Player being disgusting and disrespectful. Dolphins news that I want to get into. A little music news that maybe there was music and sex. I got so many things. How I come up with all these subjects every single day, I have no idea. But we do have plenty of things to talk about. We're coming to you live, of course, from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by. Say hi, man. We can even take a social distancing picture. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more. Remember, you can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Email Orlando at Big O Radio Show. Back with more from VSSWestPines.com.
He keeps texting or he keeps tweeting.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Welcome back.
This is the Big O Show.
We take it till 3 out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Don't forget that Moody's Dental is a proud sponsor of our program. I've got my Invisaligns. You can get yours. Right now, if you need some emergency help, you're in pain, a cavity, root canal, whatever it is, call Eric Moody's, please. 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. You can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Go to the website, moodysdental.com. All right. I like it. Yes, so much. So many things to talk about on the program. All right, the other thing, well, there's a lot of things, but one of the things that I saw that had to have been real bad news was LA County is extending their stay-at-home orders until July. So you think about that.
They bypassed June and went all the way to the back end of July.
Through July, yeah. Well, because they're still a hot spot. And listen to this. They have MLS teams there. They have a hockey team there. Multiple baseball teams. Multiple basketball teams, multiple football teams. Everything's multiple except, no, hockey is multiple also, Anaheim. I forgot. You got Anaheim and the Kings. Everything is multiple. So of the 5 major sports, they have 10. And the NFL has already talked about moving those teams out. Remember, we told you, was it yesterday or the day before, we talked about how Vegas and Arizona could be hosting multiple teams. They're even talking maybe even the Cowboys host the Rams. There's an outside chance that the Rams would move to Dallas.
Why would it not be the Chargers? Because, like you said, nobody sees them. Like, keep them a little closer to the base.
Only because if it becomes the Chargers, they play with the Raiders, the divisional games, less travel. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, they're trying to keep people off playing. Yeah,
they're trying to play. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Because Bill, then if you send the Rams, they don't play in the same division.
You know what I'm saying? The bastard child's Chargers, like we could send them anywhere.
Yeah. But it's funny because the Rams are the team that spends money in this league, and they're the ones that would have to go to the Cowboys. But again, because you have to send the Chargers over to Vegas, that would make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Or you send them to Arizona. The Rams, whatever. But
I was going to say, just for logistics, you keep them a little closer so you could get some maybe L.A. travel to go watch the team, to go all the way down I-10 to get into Texas.
Again, none of this is etched in stone. We don't know where any of these teams are going to play, but that's kind of what's been thrown around already. But think about this already. So that already throws a wrench into every league now. And by the way, New York will do this. New York's worse than California.
Oh, they got to get out of there, right?
So
you can't ask people, hey, come on to New York. What are you, nuts?
Players won't go to New York. Players aren't going to want to go to New York.
You know what? Maybe New York, maybe the Jets win by forfeit because teams won't come and they win by forfeit.
Well,
their home games.
This is clearly an advantage for the Chargers over every team in the world because they're just used to being like everywhere and no home anyway. So for them, it won't change. But again, the Yankees, the Mets, the Jets, the Giants, the Islanders, the Devils, the Rangers. I mean, it becomes even worse in New York than it does in Los Angeles. Okay? Because they've got teams, Jersey is right behind New York as a hot spot because they're so connected there. And so I would imagine that their stay-at-homes is also going to be a lot longer than everybody else. And we're talking about the 2 biggest media markets overall. That's crazy, man. And so that already is creating problems for each league now, because you have all your travel issues, and now, so this whole thing about sequestering players and all that, that's kind of calmed down a little bit. You don't hear nearly as much about that anymore, and I wonder it's because maybe the people on top are realizing we're not going to be able to sequester a whole league. So if you also are going to have travel and all of that, this creates even more problems now. Because now you're moving a whole bunch of teams out of state. And so they're basically going to be sequestered because they're going to be on the road the entire time. Their entire season practically will be on the road until, officials are going to allow those teams to go. And by the way, I forgot who was. I think it was Kirk Herbstreit that said it a month and a half ago, and everybody was freaking out like, no way. Kirk Herbstreit's prediction that there will be no college football season is looking extremely realistic. California already said colleges are all online in the fall. And if the NCAA already said, if we don't have students on campus, we don't have players playing any sport whatsoever. So what are you going to do if a lot of these schools may have to be online in the fall? I told my wife, I think that you may be online in the fall. I told her. I go, how are they going to send thousands of kids into buildings to get teachers sick, get kids sick, and we don't have a vaccine? So since the vaccine won't be here till 21, I think that's what's going to end up happening with public schools. They're going to say, no, we can't bring kids together because we have no vaccine. We have no way to protect. We have no way to separate kids. There's no way you're going to be able to do it. I mean, this thing is going to be a freaking mission. Okay? Now they're talking about 147,000 dying by August. Okay?
Bottom line,
all right. Any more of you flu people out there? Because the flu would kill 20, 25, 30,000 people in a year. So within 8-9 months, 147,000? You want to keep comparing it to the flu? Wow. Anybody that keeps comparing it to the flu, bro, come on. We don't get 80,000 dead in the United States in a year from the flu.
You got to think that what's going to end up happening is, what are the legal ramifications? Are we looking at lawsuits? You know what I mean? The liability.
That's why they're not going to bring them in.
That's why I'm saying.
That's what they're thinking.
That's what I'm saying. The liability factor is going to be, no, man, we can't. You know how many lawsuits we could possibly have? No.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And let me tell you, teachers, there's going to get to a point where teachers are going to say, this is not worth it, bro. The kids aren't worth it already as it is. My mind is going crazy having to teach all these kids, and now I have to also risk my life. The thing that's scary about this is you can end up with a respiratory issue for the rest of your life. You might get it, and then you have a respiratory issue for the rest of your life. That's screwed up, bro. So this whole thing about California now stretching out through July, and colleges online in the fall, I'm terrified that we're moving too fast for the sports, and that eventually we're going to suffer setbacks and they're going to shut it down again. I fear that so much. And, whatever you want to call me, a negative Nelly or whatever, I know how it always is that, if you don't say something bright and smiley, everybody thinks that you're just trying to be negative, and maybe I'm just trying to be a realist.
Just from a numbers thing, what's the sport with the least amount of players? Basketball. Where did this coronavirus start? This basketball.
Yeah. And
the odds say because
UFC
of the number
has
of people.
a fraction, and look what happened. They
would they have? 8 fighters involved, and one of them, right?
And
on the card,
2 trainers.
And 2 trainers. So 4 trainers.
And so far, we haven't heard that anybody else got it. while they were walking around for a couple days before they got tested with everybody else.
So each fighter, there are 8 fighters, and you figure 4 dudes in the corner. Okay, so that's 32 plus the 8 fighters. That's 40 people involved, trainers and fighters and people in the corner, and 3 people out of those 40 got it. That's bad ratio.
It's tough, man.
So imagine football with, you know what I mean, 55 plus the 10 practice, and then you add all the – man, you're hundreds times 32. You're talking 3,200 people. Man, there's no way somebody's not going to get corona. On top of the fact, like Fauci said, that's the perfect breeding ground for this to be spread.
Right. Yeah.
At least baseball, like, you know, the right fielder's over there, the center fielder's over there. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, when you throw the ball, then whatever you had, you're throwing it over to the guy. But,
right.
You know,
right.
There's a little distance, social distancing in baseball.
Crazy. By the way, just again, I just want to bring it up because might as well. This whole thing, I know we're all dying for sports to happen, and we want it to happen right away, but it's just one of those where, man, you just kind of fear that you're going to end up getting it for a very short time and then losing it again because they're going to suffer setbacks. Because, see, here's the other thing that, you know, I've mentioned it a couple times now. Nobody has the answers. Not you, not me, not any politician, not any country, not any dictator.
Oh, the laboratories, the doctors,
king, not any queen, nobody really. The doctors don't even know.
Exactly. The laboratories, no, they don't know.
Well, they told us at first, you know, masks aren't important. Now they want us to wear masks because they can spread, right? Early on, they told us, don't go crazy with food. Don't stock up with food. Well, those of you that stocked up with meat, you were smart. If you filled up your freezer with meat, you're smart. Because somehow or another, now there's shortage on meat. Because the experts didn't realize that, wait a minute, if this thing spreads, you know, the people that package meat, they're just like human beings like us. They could get sick too. And then if they get sick, then we're not packaging any meat. And if we're not packaging any meat, then nobody has meat. And guess what? Now we're running out of meat. So they don't know what the hell to do. The Fauci, who is ahead of everybody else, he adjusts his game plan after every series. Okay, you know, a football coach comes in and he's got a game plan for the game. They may alter it a little bit at halftime to adjust to something, but it's basically the same game plan. They, you know, tweak it a little bit. Everybody around the world, okay? And I don't play the politics game. I don't care about the Democrats, and I don't care about the Republicans, okay? Everybody is playing it one way or another, and they don't have the answers. No one has the answers. No one's perfect. No one gets it. Everybody's adjusting on the fly to this because it's the first time. Hopefully down the line, we're all going to be experienced from this, and we will be better, you know?
You know the thing I love? They keep talking about the 6 feet, and they've proven and shown that it's 13.
Yeah.
But we're still out of 6 feet distance.
Right. So they figure at 13, we're dead. Because, come on. I mean, you're going to have 13 feet? A line of 6 people is, you know, 70 feet? Come on, bro. That's just that's nuts. You can't do something like that.
6 people would actually be 78 feet to be exact.
Oh, there you go. The toilet people are the only shortage that's a little weird. LOL, yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. But then again, you do need all that toilet paper because if you're home and all you're doing is stuffing your fat ass all day, you're going to be on the porcelain throne right after. So, yeah, you need the toilet paper. That's what people figured out. They said, man, I'm going to be home eating all day. Exactly. Eating and crapping. That's all it is.
Everybody's become like a baby.
Right. What do you expect? You ate half a bag of Oreos. Of course you're in the bathroom, bro. What's wrong with you? Yeah, you sat there and you binged an entire season of whatever, and while you did that, you ate an entire bag of Chips Ahoy. So, of course, you're going to be dumping some chips later. So you need the toilet paper. I get it. People planned on like, hey, the entire house, all we're going to do is hang around and eat. So all we're going to do is eat, crap, and sleep. You need food, you need toilet paper, and you need a bed. That's kind of what it was. So I understand. And not everybody has a bidet. You know, that's whoever has a bidet, now you got something going on. You don't use as much toilet paper. Good for you. Manny Machine says, stick to sports talk. Manny, do you have any idea what happens when people tell me what I can or cannot say? Whether it's sports or politics or music. Do you have any idea? Huh? I don't know if you follow me long enough, you watch the show, whether you watch, you listen, or on Twitter. It's never a really good thing to tell me what to do. Okay? Just so you know, Manny, I do whatever the hell I want. Not what you want. You got that? You can tune out, Manny. Okay? If there's one thing you don't do, don't tell me what to say. Okay? I don't give a rat's ass what you think, Manny. Understand that. You understand that? You get it, Manny? So if I feel like talking about farting and eating Oreos and toilet paper, I will do whatever I want. And if I want to rip Bernie Sanders or Trump or Bill Clinton or Obama or whoever the hell I want to rip, too bad. Tune in somewhere else. Got that, Manny? Understand that, buddy? Okay? I always love these schmucks that want to control. I've been doing radio for 30 years. I don't need you to tell me what I need to talk about, when I need to talk about it. Okay? I love how everybody's a program director and everybody's a producer. Okay? Manny, you do your job. Sit your ass there, stuff your face with Oreos, and watch and listen to the show. If you don't like it, my brother, then get lost. It's pretty simple. You got the invitation, right? The invitation is to get lost. Pretty simple. Got it? Good. 786-322-1105. By the way, Manny, we have toilet paper here. Since it seems like you're full of shit, you might need it, bro. Okay? I'm just saying. Alexa says, laughing my ass off. I love when O says rat's ass. What's up with getting UFA Kirk Merritt, wide receiver, exposing his genitals to Texas A&M tutors on 2 separate occasions? Excuse of bad case of jock itch? What the F? Not happy about this UFA signing. Weird. Drubo, let me explain something to you about these guys. Go look at Preston Williams. He also has some baggage, too. They will take some chances on some guys. Mark Walton, remember that one? So they're gonna bring a couple of those guys in. I did not know that about Kirk Merritt, by the way. I'm going to actually look that up. I'm glad you told me about that because that's kind of a really twisted and funny story at the same time. I have to admit that there's some funny to it. You know what I mean? It's sick and twisted, but I got to say it's funny. Anyway, so the beauty of these guys is that they will not allow you a long leash. So they're not going to tolerate you. So I would imagine that Merritt, if this is true what you're saying, they sat down with him and said, hey, you see this crap? Just so you'll know, we brought in Mark Walton, and the second he got arrested, we cut him. We didn't waste any time. That's why a lot of people are wondering what's the future of X. And that's why I told you guys that Noah, when he got drafted, if he develops in the next year and X stays straight and has a great year, I think there's a shot they move him next year in the offseason. Not now because his value is shot. You know what I mean? His value is terrible. So you're not going to be able to do it. But now, I mean, you'll be able to do it, but you won't get his value. So you wait a year, show he's healthy, he's playing well, and then maybe you move him. Again, now maybe they keep him around because he's a great player and he gets his crap straightened out. You know what I'm saying? We just don't know. Really. We have no idea.
You are wanting to stay within the structure of an actual hour, right?
Yes.
Not like yesterday.
Yes. Alex Diaz says, if you don't have toilet paper, there's always the shower. That is true, Alex. That is true. Still kind of uncomfortable doing it there, but it's true. It's true. I got you.
If you take that route, man, get some bleach and clean that bathroom.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's kind of, Yeah, Alex, that part is, I don't know.
Because the person behind you, obviously more than likely in the fam, is going to be there taking a shower in your feces. Not cool.
Nah, not good. Not good. But, by the way, if you need to clean yourself, we've got toilet paper here. We've got paper towels here. We've got hand sanitizer here. We've got all the things that Manny wear the Motorhead shirt. I'm going to go Live in Hammersmith. Live at Hammersmith Odeum. That's one hell of an album there. That way it has all the songs, and it's a great live album, actually. It's one of the better live albums out there from Motorhead. But if I got to go, I'm going to go Orgasmatron, okay, over Ace of Spades.
You know, my gorgeous Motorhead, the purple.
Yeah.
Never worn it, and I never will.
That's because it's the last one you saw, man. I got you. I think this is the first time I wear this one. I think I've never worn this Motorhead shirt, actually. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more. 12397 Pembroke Road. We're out here, baby, at VSS West Pines. Come on by. It's where Barefoot Mailman and Spencer's meets CBD. That's what it's all about. You can come out here and you can actually get a little roast and toast. See? You can enjoy there. There's a hole. There's the toking part. And then you can also have your coffee. I mean, you can't beat that, bro.
And that's for your tobacco, right?
Yeah, of course. It's tobacco, CBD needs, all of that. There you go. That's why it's called a roast and toast. I'm telling you, man, it's Barefoot Mailman meets Spencer's along with the great CBD products. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. Would love to meet you. Manny Machine, we got toilet paper for you. Back with more.
It's a at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We back at 1:30. Michelle Kaufman will join us from the Miami Herald to talk a little Inter-Miami CF. Hopefully we get closer. Hopefully we have no setbacks. I am really terrified of that,
You're
man.
going to talk sports, oh?
Yep. Do want to remind you, EJD Construction, proud sponsor of the program. Call Eric right now. You want to fix that home. You want to upgrade it. The man cave. You want to redo the kitchen, the garage, the front of the house, the back. You want to add a waterfall. Whatever you want to do.
The James Bond wall.
Yeah, anything you want to do, they do it there. Not a handyman. I'm talking about real construction, okay? Custom home construction, major home remodeling. And let me tell you, because of COVID-19, they will use gloves and masks along with all OSHA requirements. And they even arrive at their sales appointments with mask and gloves as well. First responders will get developers rates. So call Eric right now and tell him that Big O sent you, and they will take care of it. Tell them that you heard it here on the show. So whether you're doing a waterfall at the pool or you want to, whatever you want to do at the pool or whatever you want to do with your man cave, they're going to take care of you, and they're going to give you a discount because you told them that you heard it right here on the program. So call EJD Construction, 305-318-4978. That's 305-318-4978. Dolphins, they are interested in Logan Ryan. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. And I wanted to get into it a little bit more today on the Logan Ryan move. And I want to tell you why, again, I keep kind of freaking out with these guys. Because the last 20 years has been so frustrating for me. Those of you that have followed the show over the years, I've torn apart the Dolphins left and right. Okay? Hell, when we brought on Garfinkel the other day, I told Garfinkel, I go, hey, Tom, you know how critical I've been of this team for a long, long time. You know, and he knows. They all know. And so why? Because they used to do so many stupid things and things that make no sense whatsoever. Right? And everything that they do, more often than not, just makes all the sense in the world. And so now Logan Ryan, who's 29 and a good player, played 4 years for the Patriots. That's how Flores knows him. He was last year with the Titans. So he's a free agent. Jets are very interested in him also. So I don't know where he's going to go and who he's going to sign with. They say that the ballpark is somewhere in the $9 million range, but this is not a long-term contract. Now, some of you are saying, but, they've got X. They've got Byron Jones. They drafted Noah. Nick Needham's there. Bobby McCain's there. Kodrea Tankersley hasn't gotten an opportunity. They've got a bunch of guys there. They've got a lot of depth already at this point. So why are you going to bring them? Because you can't have enough. And because Noah is a young guy. So now you've got a young guy that gets to learn from X, from Byron, and from Logan Ryan. And Logan also knows the system, knows what Flores is trying to accomplish. So you're bringing in a guy just like Van Noy in the sense that he knows what the coach is trying to accomplish. And then he can then forward that information to the group. And in a way, what you're doing is you're adding a Van Noy to that linebacker defensive end group, and they will get the word from him on what they've got to do. Logan Ryan knows what they want, and then he'll be kind of a captain for them too. You know, X and Byron Jones are captains, potential captains for the team. But what I mean by not captain, but let's say provide that leadership experience coming from, hey, I've been in this system. I know what he's looking for. This is what he's looking for, and those kind of things. And if you're able to put that in different spots on your team, it's a really smart move by the coach. You can't have enough DBs.
Especially this year with the lack of training you're going to get.
Right. And on really, you think about it, it's not like Sam Darnold scares you. It's not like Josh Allen scares you, and it's not like Jarrett Stidham scares you. So, if you have a kick-ass secondary, guess who you're scaring? Jarrett Stidham. Yeah, Sam Darnold's going to see ghosts when it's all said and done. Josh Allen can't pass anyway. You get my drift? So I love it. And, those of you that keep talking about playoffs, this is another move that maybe puts you in that kind of position because your secondary is so good. And by doing this, ladies and gentlemen, by improving the secondary to this point, it's also going to improve what? Your pass rush. So you're going to be better in every area out there. So I love this move of Logan Ryan because it adds the experience, it adds the leadership and knowledge of what the coach is trying to do. There's a community, and again, like Bill just said, in a short year, here's a guy that helps bridge this. And then they're also going, well, we drafted this kid Noah, and we've got to kind of hurry up the process in a shortened year. Well, if we go get Logan Ryan, we've got the money. That's the other thing. Let me add this, too. Let me add this caveat to all of this. That the Logan Ryan thing, you're not going to be giving him a long-term contract. Remember what I told you about the Van Noy contract, that it's a 4-year deal, but you can really get out of it after 2. So years 32 and 33, you don't have to deal with them unless he's playing at a high level, and maybe you want to keep him for one more extra year, and then he never sees the 4th year. That's a possibility, but you can get out of it after 2. If you have already gotten Weaver or Stowbridge or Van Ginkel or any of those guys have developed in the next 2 years to take over for Van Noy, you push Van Noy out the door. But you left yourself open for that because you put together a smart contract that you could get out of, that you're not tied to for 4 years. The kind of stuff that people used to do here. The kind of stuff that used to piss me off all the time and why I would be ripping the Dolphins all the time. Now it's a different ballgame.
It is absolutely amazing how much these moves we make sense.
Right. And
there's a
flexibility.
rhyme. There's a rhyme and a reason. And also, not only that, but like you said, you also have an out.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen this, man.
Yeah.
This is some strange land we're walking on.
Richard McLean says, 30 years, Big O. Time goes fast. Remember you on 790. Brother, the last time I was on 790, I was doing homegrown sports. Sundays, noon to 1. That was 30 years ago. I was never on 790 like the ticket. So I don't know if that's what you were talking about. But literally the last time I did anything on the air at 790 was even before 790 was in town. It was actually a waxy station. It was a brokered station at that time. Mike Dominguez says, wouldn't we rather have Warford at guard instead of Logan Ryan? Mike, they could use either one, my brother. Either one adds incredible depth. A possible starting type player, because Logan Ryan will be tough to start. You know what I mean? Because he'll be battling Noah and all that. So maybe he shares time. Maybe he's the full-time starter. Noah's just a complete backup. Where Warford definitely has a chance at starting, period. Or at least the first year while you develop the other guys. It's interesting, but that's the beauty, Mike. They can add any of these guys and get better. Ken Walker says, Big O and the rest of the chat, what kind of team do you all think the Fins will evolve into over the next few years? Any comparisons? That's an interesting question. I kind of like what I've seen from Tennessee, but with a quarterback. How about that? What they've developed, a really good team, and then they just need the quarterback to kind of put them over the top. They don't have it. They still don't have it, not with Ryan. But Miami has the kid that could develop into that if he stays healthy, of course. So I'll go Tennessee.
You know what I was going to say? The way Seattle hit on their drafts and had all those young guys, and really and truthfully, You got the best running back in the league. 31 other teams would use your guy on the 1 yard line. Don't throw the ball. They have 2 Super Bowls.
Right. Yeah.
I could see us see the rookies and them all making an impact. Now, like we know when we've talked about through 4 or 5 years, having enough money to be able to keep everybody.
Right. Yeah. That'll be the challenge, but that'll be a nice problem to actually have here for the Miami Dolphins. The other thing I wanted to bring out to you guys out there, Tom Brady going to Tampa. I wanted to ask this out there, and you can tell me on the chat board, all of you that are watching right now on the chat board, what's your answer to this? If the Bucs don't win a championship with Brady, does it become a failure? How do you look at that? Because in my eyes, it's a failure. Do you know why I say it's a failure? Because you will then need a quarterback. You were working on one, and I get it. The kid threw 30 interceptions last year, and so you had to part ways with him. But still, he has the potential of still turning into a franchise guy because people just don't throw 33 touchdowns and 5,000 yards by accident. There's got to be some talent there in order to do that. You got to be pretty good in some sense. And so you were working on that, and I get it. He had not crossed that threshold yet, and maybe he never does. But if you don't win the title with Brady, how is it not a failure? Because, look, you've already accommodated him with Gronk. You're going to treat the team in the next year or two like it needs to get over the hump now. So you're going to make whatever crazy commitment you have to make to anybody to get you over the top, which then will put you probably in some kind of salary cap hell down the line when you're doing stuff like this. So I'm just wondering, for those of you out there, if Tom Brady does not win a championship in Tampa, okay? I mean, that doesn't mean it's a failure for a lot of teams. A lot of teams, you have a Super Bowl year where you don't win the Super Bowl, but you get there. That's a pretty damn good year, man. You're feeling good. But you didn't acquire Tom Brady to just get to the Super Bowl.
Like we talk about, every move that they've made since they got Brady has been that all-in going after it.
Right.
And if you come up short, it is a failure.
It's like you said, Manning Denver, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it sets you back. Like you said, you're not at squares. No, you're a couple years behind because you could have been developing people.
Right, and you're not interested in developing a quarterback right
now.
now.
So if you don't get it in the next 2 years, it's another 2 years. Like you're looking at half a decade before you've got a group that you can go get it again.
Like you have to win the title.
You're all
the
in.
Bucs.
Yep. Think about it. Every move they've made has been for that.
And it'll be like that next year too, because I'm sure he'll be there for a couple of years. Unless he wins it this year and then says, okay, I'm leaving. But he's going to be there 2 years already. He's committed for 2 years. Maybe if they win it this year, he can walk out and say, yeah, I did what I wanted. I'm out of here and done. I'm just saying, if you got to win the title if you're the Bucs and you're Tom Brady. I don't think there's any room for anything else. Coming up short, it's not that it's going to look like a choke job, okay? Because right now, I don't think anybody is labeling the Bucs like we look at the Clippers and the Lakers, right? We look at the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Bucs to a certain extent. We say one of those three for sure is winning the NBA title, right? We're not looking at the Bucs there yet. While Brady is there, we're not really looking at them like the Super Bowl favorites. Are they a contender? Yes, but they're not a favorite. You can probably pick another team or two that you would feel way better at getting the Super Bowl.
How about the ones that just won it?
Right, exactly. No, the Chiefs for sure. You would definitely pick them over. But again, that's why. But you made this move to win the title. You don't win the title, it's failure, period. And for Bruce Arians, I think this means everything for him because he hasn't won squat. And so the guy that's considered a quarterback guru type, well, then, they gave you the GOAT and you didn't get it done. Now, we'll find out if the GOAT's too old, or we'll find out if Bruce Arians can't get him over the top. I think the Bucs signed Brady as a money grab. The popularity they've gotten already has made this a success. A title would be icing on the cake. Not winning would be more of a failure for Tom. You could be right. You could be right. If you want to look at it just for money purposes, you're right, because you're going to sell out the stadium. You're going to be able to sell tickets at a higher price. Your club seats will be at a premium. You're going to sell jerseys like it's out of style. So, yeah. Ken Walker says it's a failure. There's a short 2-year window to win now, although I would settle for one Super Bowl appearance and a loss if some players are unexpectedly hurt. Okay? Great pass rushers are rare, just like great QBs. Let's see. I think it does because you don't have a QB to groom. Exactly. Win or bust, franchise going to rebuild. Brady's acquisition is short-sighted and mortgages the future. Yeah, but that's what they wanted, Ricky. That's what they wanted. They want to mortgage the future. They were kind of tired of being, mediocre. And they figured, okay, this is the only way we're going to become elite. And remember, they added a coach the last time around that they thought was going to be the difference maker. And sure enough, he was. They got him the title. Obviously, he destroyed that team as years went on. But at that moment, everything went John Gruden's way, man. Duck Dog 1104 says, I wouldn't say it's a failure if he doesn't win a Super Bowl in a couple years. Let's just be glad he's finally not in the AFC East. See ya, Tom. Okay. All right. For me, it would be a failure. Because you brought him there for the title. Just making the playoffs or even appearing in the Super Bowl, I don't think is enough. This isn't a team that's never won a title. They won a title. So they gave their fans already the taste of a championship. And when they made the move last time for Gruden, this same ownership group, they did it because they thought they were close enough that if they got the right coach, it put them over the top. And that's exactly what happened. They're doing the same thing again. They think they're close enough that if they get the right quarterback, they will get over the top. So in my eyes, I would call it a failure if you don't win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Because that's the only you didn't bring the guy there just to appear in a Super Bowl. That's not enough. It just isn't. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. Can I talk about something from The Last Dance that I want to mention? Because
are you going to do it fast?
Yeah. I'll do it fast. Yes.
Okay. I'm just.
I got you. So listen, when we talk about The Last Dance, I laugh at this, right? Because go look at Jordan's stats. If you want to pull them up, you can pull them up and check it out for yourself. All right, and I'll do it for you here while I'm talking. Jordan played 81, 82 games pretty much his entire career. Okay? Practically his entire career. Let me play it out for you. Okay? Starting back in 84, 85. 82, then he broke his foot 18. 82, 82, 81, 82, 82, 80, 78, 82, 82, 82. Then 60 his first year with Washington, and then 82. He played 82 games his last year in the NBA. Okay? I mean, the guy had to have a serious injury for him to miss any kind of time. Now, I love how we try to make these comparisons with LeBron and Jordan, which there is no comparison. Jordan is light effing years away from LeBron. It's not even close. But you know what really stands out to me that's really funny? Here's a guy that made a living and a great living and a ton of success in this process, okay? Because in his second season, he only played 18 games because of the broken ankle. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and again, 94, 95 was a short season because he came back from the baseball thing, so he only played a couple games. Then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. In 15 seasons, he has the 6 titles. He went there 6 times and won all 6 of them. He's the MVP, okay? He's the ultimate difference maker. He played 82 games all the effing time. All right? Now, let me ask you something. How does LeBron or Durant or Steph Curry or any of these new age players that, because we're always whatever, right? We're always dying to find it because we got to replace the one that's here with the next guy, right? The second Kobe was coming up, or Harold Miner. We had to label them the next Jordan.
As I say, Mike didn't even get out of the league, and we were already looking for the next Mike.
Right. It's always been like that, right? Now, here's a guy that we talk about how physical the league is, and for you young people, now you're seeing a taste of it. You really don't get the real feel for it, but it was brutally physical. They had real centers in those days. Redwood trees that would be in the lane at times, okay? And he ended up beating exceptional teams that were in the Eastern Conference, something that LeBron never had to do, really, deal with a lot of exceptional teams in the Eastern Conference. He did, and he beat them all. And you saw in those practices of the Dream Team, he was the best player by far. Magic will tell you, everybody will tell you, right? So let me ask you all out there something, because everybody else wants to find somebody who's the next Jordan. How do you become Jordan when you're taking games off? How do you become Jordan when you're all about load management? And that guy, I just read for you, 82 and 81 games, his entire career. Everybody tells me I need to take days off and games off in order for me to be at my best. Here's a man that smoked cigars in the locker room, gambled all night long, then went out, put 40 on your head, won 6 titles, 6 MVPs. How do you catch up with somebody you can't outwork? Because everybody tells me, oh, no, it's in the studies. You got to rest. You're not going to be your best. Well, there's Michael Jordan, bro. The great ones are the great ones, man. Magic Johnson wasn't taking days off, and Larry Bird didn't ask for days off. If those dudes were out, it's because they were injured, bro. Injured. They didn't want a day off. They're not asking you to take a day off. Hell, even in the Last Dance, it's Dennis Rodman saying, I need a couple days in Vegas. And Michael's like, dude, if anybody needs a days off, it's me. And he doesn't want to take any days off. And when he sits there in that documentary and he tells you, this is how I played the game. If you don't want to play the game this way, then don't. And he's breaking down at that moment because it sickens him that you would not actually give all your effort every single night. That you would not want to be on the court every single night. That's how much it sickened him. That it wanted him, it made him almost cry on air. So how are all these wussy-ass millennials and Generation Zs going to catch up to a man they can't outwork? Going to catch up to a man that had way more commitment to the game than all of them? He wasn't worried about his brand. It developed, but it wasn't like he was on social media trying to pump himself up and do every kind of interview on the planet and do all this stuff. And I know I got to go because I got to get Michelle Kaufman in, but I'm just saying.
Once you become a load management, you're excommunicated from the conversation. You're
done.
out.
You're done. You can't catch up to the man if you're not willing to outwork him. And that's the difference there also between Jordan and everybody else in today's game.
Like that rule, huh?
And there is nobody on the planet right now in the NBA or any other basketball league in the world that comes even close to this guy, including LeBron James. They're not in his stratosphere. Can't beat him, can't top him, and you'll never be better if you can't outwork him. Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald is next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, we are ready to rock. We promised you Michelle Kaufman would be joining us, and of course you can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. You can catch her work every day at the Miami Herald. Michelle, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
Well, we're still COVID-free, we think. Kind of, maybe,
good.
Hopefully. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
How about you guys?
That's
how's everybody? How's everybody in the household?
Oh well, I don't know. Last time we spoke, we've spoken since we have a full household because our son and daughter-in-law and our 2 grandchildren, ages 5 and 11 months, came down from New York on March 21st. So they have been with us for 7.5 weeks, staying at our house, waiting it out until they feel comfortable to go back to New York. So I've been working and being a grandma and having kids running around the house, and then our daughter is home from college because Duke is shut down. So, it's been hectic, but good family time, and we're all fine. So that's the main thing.
I like it. All right, good to hear that. Michelle, before we get into the specific Inter stuff, and I would imagine we're about to hear from New York eventually. In the next couple of days here, but California dropped a bomb yesterday saying that they're going to have stay-at-home all the way through July. So that means not till August 1st. And they have 2 of everything from MLS to NFL. And and the NFL's already talked about they could be possibly moving those teams out. So what is the word from the MLS on how they're going to handle all of this? Because are we talking about sequestering like they were talking about for the NBA and NHL and Major League Baseball, all that kind of stuff? What are we going to do?
One of the plan that I've heard floated is very similar to that, where the entire league, all 26 teams, would be in Orlando.
Okay.
Disney is Disney has lost money, so they're obviously desperate to get some people there. The ESPN Wide World of Sports complex has 17 soccer fields. So, and they're all top quality, I know, because my daughter has played there. So, and MLS teams have had preseason training there. So they're FIFA level, very, very good fields. They have 17 fields plus the Orlando City facilities plus UCF. So there are a lot of athletic facilities, specifically soccer fields, available in Orlando. There are lots of big hotels where they could house entire teams and all of their entourages. And yeah, they've talked about just having the entire league in one city, and it could be Orlando, where they all come. They had talked about 3 cities having like 10 teams in each or 18, whatever, But now the latest thing I heard was maybe all the teams in one place and having, no fans, having like maybe even a tournament format, like round robin and then playoffs and then a champion of some sort. So, I don't know, but there's a lot of moving parts with something like that because first of all, the families would not be invited. So you're asking players to be apart from their families for long, extended periods of time, months, perhaps, and that would be difficult. Also, it's going to require a lot of testing, like, every other day or something, testing every single person who's involved, which, if you count all the players, it's like 700 players, plus all the coaches, all the staff, any of the TVP tests every couple days. And even if they were able to pay for it and to do it, would there be a backlash from the public, that the athletes and coaches are getting tests that regular people should be getting? So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, hey, let's round up a bunch of athletes and start some games. It's very, very complex. And the MLS Players Association has to sign off on everything. And I spent a long time on the phone yesterday with Luis Robles, who's the goalkeeper and captain of Inter Miami, and he also happens to be on the executive board of the MLS Players Association. He's very, very active and influential in the Players Union. And, he said that there's a lot that needs to be discussed still, that they are far from coming to a plan or a decision on how it would be. And, they also, the league is proposing 20% pay cuts across the board for the players. That came out yesterday. And Luis was saying that, that also is very difficult topic because there are guys who make $70,000 and then there are some who make $6 million. So a 20% pay cut for someone making 70 is very different from someone making $6 million. And some people are single and 24 years old and have no kids. And then other people have 6 kids. He said there are people who have 5 or 6 kids in the league. So, you have a wide range of economic situations, and imposing a 20% pay cut across the board would impact people very differently. So that's all being debated. And then the return to play is the other big thing that's being debated. So there are a lot of very long conversations going on. I mean, Luis was saying that he is spending on average 4 to 6 hours a day on the phone, on conference calls and stuff with players, with league officials, and they're trying to work this all out. It's very, very complicated.
I almost get the feeling that because you just talked about the mass testing, and I've been on that from the get-go. And what I love is the NBA has been very conscious about that. They're the one league that has openly talked about, like, hey, we need 200,000 tests. How are we going to take that away from the public right now? We can't do that when, you and I can't go get a test. And I'm dying to get a test. I got to tell you, Michelle, I'm dying to have a test. I think
UM is offering some. You may want to call the UM whatever. The UM hospital, I think, is doing some.
They're doing free
tests?
Some
testing.
They're doing some free tests or pay tests. Either one,
I don't know.
I would do. I would find out. Yeah, I would do either just so I can find out, just to know. But the bottom line is, the average person, that can't afford it, they should be able to go get tested anywhere, at a CVS, at a hospital, at a clinic, so we can at least track it and all that. And we can't do that, so that's going to be a real issue. And I almost have a hard time understanding how any sport, not just the MLS, any sport, not UFC, I'm talking about like the real sports that have a lot of people. I don't know how they get to do everything on an everyday basis without being able to have mass testing. And let me tell you, Michelle, I think it's every day you've got to test them. because we really don't know how long it stays dormant inside you. Fauci was saying the other day, he still doesn't know, how long it could be dormant under, in your system and not detected.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's complicated. There are players who would be willing to do it. There are players who are more concerned, and there are a lot of different opinions, and the leagues are losing tons of money. The players, if they have to start taking pay cuts, they're going to be losing money too. But they also have health concerns. So, there's a delicate balance between, kickstarting the economy again and sports and everything else that we want to do, and also, doing it the right way. And I mean, I think we do have to start opening up at some point, and there's no magic date. I mean, I know people, everyone is divided now, and it's just like everything political. And, I feel like I told my husband this is like the color war at my daughter's camp. Everything from politics to COVID is there's a red team and a blue team, and what team are you on? And, if people who want to reopen, other people say, oh, they just want to kill people. No, there's just different opinions about when things should be done and how they should be done. All the opinions deserve to be respected. And it's very complicated. There are people who, it's very easy if you're sitting at home and your biggest worry of the day is which takeout you're going to get for dinner and which Netflix show you're going to watch and binge that night, and other people who literally do not have money to buy Publix food for their children. So I do understand that we can't just sit in isolation in our homes for the rest of our lives. That is just not feasible. That's not responsible. That's just not going to happen. So at some point, things have to start opening up. And, the news just came out about an hour ago that Miami, the city of Miami, Doral, Hialeah, and Miami Beach are all going to start opening on May 20th, next Wednesday. So retail is going to open, parks are going to open, and then restaurants and salons will open, like hair salons. And then the May 27th will be restaurants will start to reopen, all with precautions and things like they're doing in other states too. If you go to the hair salon, you have to wait outside in your car, only one person in the salon at a time. Everybody wears a mask. Everything is sanitized. It's going to be different. Things are going to be different for a while. But I do believe that, at some point we have to open up. And as far as sports goes, it's complicated because there are so many people involved, especially in a league like, MLS has a lot of players on every team. The NFL has a lot of players on every team. NBA is a little bit smaller, 12 guys on a team. That's a little easier to do than 30 or 40 or 85 or whatever the case may be. So every sport is going to be different, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But it's very complicated. Even just to say, okay, we'll get the whole week together in Orlando, because they have a lot of fields, it seems to make sense. But then you have to figure you're asking players to be tested. Are you going to be able to get the tests, enough tests to test everybody? And everybody includes all the trainers, all the coaches, all the players. Everyone who would come in contact with the players would have to be tested, and all the broadcast people. And then you're also asking people to be away from their families for months at a time, which some of the players may not want to do that either. Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But that is one of the proposals that is being floated is an isolation, quarantine everybody in the whole entire league, plus everyone affiliated with the broadcast of those games, just to be able to get some games on television for people to have something to watch and for the leagues to get going. But it's complicated. It's very complicated.
Yeah, I can't imagine how frustrated Jorge has to be right now because you invested all this money and think about this. If we're all going to play in Orlando, then that stadium won't see one game this season. That's crazy.
Right. And they built that whole stadium. They rushed to get that stadium done, and they put so much money. They put so much money into that complex. And if they wouldn't,
they're not done
they wouldn't
yet.
even be practicing there. They wouldn't even be practicing there if they do the whole thing in Orlando.
They're not done, and they're not done. I was at a meeting last week at the stadium so we can build the radio studio. So I mean, we're about to purchase equipment to build a radio studio, to hire a bunch of people so we can start doing like a soccer station. And, it's not, Jorge has invested a world of money in all of this. And I feel terrible for this man that he won't see one butt in a seat this year in that stadium because of this. The two expansion teams, after all of that, it's so tough. So right now, how are they handling practices? Walk us through that, because I would imagine they're not a bunch of players together.
No, they're doing individual workouts. They get their temperature taken in the parking lot by a trainer, and then they wear their mask and they walk to. They have 7 fields at the Inter Miami training facility. They have 7 fields. They have 2 different sessions for practice. So half the guys go at one time and half the guys go at another, and each player is in one quadrant of a field. So they cut each field into 4 quarters. And one player is in each quadrant at a time, with a goal and a bag of balls that have been sanitized. They sanitize the balls and the goal in between, when each guy's practicing. And they practice alone. I mean, they run, which is nice because they have a nice surface there to run on rather than running in their neighborhoods and running through sidewalks and, where there's more of a risk of injury. So they are in a place where they can run around the fields there, and it's perfect conditions for athletes. They can practice their shooting. They can work on ball work, stuff like that. They're not allowed in the building at all, so they can't go into the gym or do any work in there. And they're not working together with any other players either. They're each doing individual workouts. And then they're still doing group training on Zoom. They found that was good for camaraderie because their trainer is very funny and all the players are on at the same time, so they can have some of the banter and the camaraderie that they're missing when they're practicing one by one in a quarter of the field, waving from a long distance at their teammate. So they've continued to do Zoom workouts as a group from their homes, and then they're also doing the individual workouts over there. And they're hoping that maybe in a few weeks that they would be able to start group training. The thing they talked about Orlando was having everybody come in and do individual workouts, because some places, some teams have been able to begin individual workouts like here, but some states have not, So those teams are already at a competitive disadvantage if they're not able to even work out in a good facility. So they've talked about this Orlando idea or whatever, wherever they were to quarantine, that the players would go and there would be kind of an extended preseason first. So they would go and, spend maybe 2 weeks doing individual workouts only. Then it would progress to small groups. Then from small groups, it would progress to full group practice and then games. So there's going to be a progression. They're basically going to have almost like a mini preseason again, to try to get them all back into game shape. So, it's going to be a process. I mean, maybe by midsummer, maybe by July, if they can get some training in June and start maybe playing some games in July, but all behind closed doors.
How far? Well, are they? I would imagine they're going to alter the season, right? It's not going to be the 32 games.
Yeah, they've talked about MLS. They've talked about MLS Cup being in December and even later if need be. They're fully prepared to have the season go through December and even into January if need be. So they've talked about those plans. That they're ready to. Yeah, the season is not going to end in October no matter what they do. They're talking about they could extend it well into the winter and even beyond. So,
wow. Well,
we'll see.
They are playing in Orlando. If they do that, winter's not a problem for them.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be a little cold, but that's not for them out there, whatever, it won't be a big deal. Now, if you're in Colorado and you're in New York and you're trying to play in November and December, yeah, that'll become a mission. But I would imagine that, down in Orlando, then all of a sudden the winter really doesn't become a big deal for them. So that at least they avoid that part, right? I mean,
right. And they had also one of the other proposals was to just start the season in one place. Have everybody just do a preseason or some sort of little preseason, almost like a spring training, like Cactus League type thing, where all the teams would go, let's say, to Orlando for 6 weeks, and they would play some games, they would get training and whatever, and then return to their fields. But again, with California already saying no, that, they wouldn't be able to do that until fall with any team. Then it's going to depend, there's 50 states, and every state has their own, every community, even within the states, counties have their own rules, cities have their own rules. So, how are you going to make a fair competition if one city allows a team to have full practices and another city is still not even allowing individual workouts? You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's so much disparity right now. At this point anyway, there's so much disparity between what's open and what's closed and what's allowed and what's prohibited that it's very difficult to make league-wide decisions in any sport because the teams have completely different sets of rules based on their geography,
Mm-hmm. No, I got you.
So,
I got you. One more thing before I let you go, Michelle, because I know you got a press conference here at the top of the hour. Is there a date? Have you heard that they need to come up with a decision and a plan to move forward, or if not, scrap the season? Have you heard anything along those lines? I would imagine that we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I got to ask just in case.
No, there hasn't been any magic date. No, there has not been any magic date. So they're just all working on trying to work this all out, and it's complicated. Like I said, in the meantime, they've still been trying to shop for 2 players because some teams now are in such tough positions in Europe, in Italy and in Spain, for example, where they've really been hard hit, that players that were maybe previously unattainable may be more attainable
nice.
now.
Okay.
So, So that, they're still shopping for 2 players for whenever it is that they start playing. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting next month or so to see how they wind up. What do they figure that they want to do? But Orlando is definitely an option that's been discussed.
Wow, interesting. All right, make sure you follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. You can keep up with everything Inter Miami. She is Michelle Kaufman. Michelle, as always, thank you for taking some time. You are awesome. You be safe out there.
All right. Let's talk next week and see where we are.
You got it. You be good.
Okay.
There you
Thanks.
go.
Take care.
You got
Bye.
it. All right, Michelle Kaufman. All right, we'll get her next week, and we'll get I think we'll get back on track now. We kind of took a couple weeks off. I don't like bringing somebody on just to bring them on. You know what I mean? We got to have something to talk about with them. And I didn't want to put her in that position the last few weeks because there was nothing. Now things are starting to develop, and I don't know if anything's going to develop in the sense of that we're going to get the seasons going, because I'm still not convinced of that. I saw Myron put somewhere there that no vaccine, no seasons. He might be right. He might be right, because if you don't, you've got to have massive testing. And I think you have to test players every day a couple of times. That's what I would do, in the morning and the evening. But if you can't do that at least once a day, everybody, coaches, trainers, players, everybody that's around each other has to be tested every single day. You need to nip that right in the bud as soon as possible. Because, I mean, if you can't, here's the negative, by the way. By keeping everybody together, one person gets it, it becomes a bigger problem for everybody else. When people are in different cities, and if one person gets it, well, then maybe you only have to quarantine the team and the team that you faced. But then if you start doing that, then that sets back the league. But I'll tell you what, if somebody gets it in a place where everybody's at, then that becomes a real problem. Are you sure you're going to be able to keep everybody at their hotels? Guys aren't going to escape to go hang out with their IG models. They're not going to escape to go to a strip club. They're not going to escape to go to sports bars or whatever. Are you sure? Because people have to have lives. I know most of us have not had a life here the last couple months because we've been stuck at home, but on average, these kind of people that have the money and all that, they're going to want to do things, and they're young, and, think about you when you were in your 20s. You may not have had millions or hundreds of thousands in the bank, but, dude, if you had a couple bucks and you were young, you were out and having some fun, right? It's kind of what your life is. I got to see it to believe it. that the NFL is going to be able to return, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer. It's not a one sport thing. And I think the UFC is not really a good example for anybody because they've only got a couple of fighters and a couple of trainers. That's easier to quarantine, keep those people apart. But how do you keep people apart in an entire basketball game and a hockey game when there's collisions and sweat and spit and you're screaming at each other and all that? You know, trash talking can spread the virus now. Think about that. Like Gary Payton catches the virus, he would have given it to everybody because he didn't shut up. And there's plenty of guys like Gary in the league right now that probably don't shut up. And they're going to be spreading the virus if they get it. Now, I don't know. I have to really see it to believe it that it's actually going to happen. I am terrified that we're all working ourselves up for this and then nothing ends up happening because the damn virus takes over. I mean, you saw with UFC this past weekend. They
Can
lost
you
somebody,
imagine going through
they
all?
they have a fraction.
Can you imagine going through all the logistics, all the everything, and then to have it up? Guess what? Everything you've done is for naught. Shut it down.
Yeah, you have.
You know how frustrating
your cooks have to be quarantined with the players. Who's going to cook for the players?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Your dishwasher has to be quarantined. Has to be the same people washing the dishes every day.
The people doing the laundry.
Same people every day.
The people at the hotel changing the sheets.
And they can't leave. You're going to have to cut agreements with those people. They cannot go hang out at bars, go hang out with their family members, and then they come back. That's what happened to the UFC guy. He goes, yo, I think I was in contact with somebody that had the corona because somebody in my family had it. And you can't control that. You're going to have to quarantine anything and everything that the players need. You may have to even create a couple of bars for them to hang out at night. And those bartenders will have to be quarantined. Yeah, we need a couple of bars that we're going to make shift for the players. You know what you're doing? It's like an Olympic Village, basically. So you've got to have a place for them to hang out, a place where there's maybe video games for them to play with, with each other and all that stuff. And it's all, same people every day. It's really complicated, man. It's not as easy as people make it out to be.
The more you talk and get further into and thinking about what's got to be done, you know what? It just says, no, this is not realistic.
You got to have the same bus driver taking you to a game and back.
How many people are going to be excommunicated from their family like that, man?
I mean, they'll all get paid for it, but they're all gonna, now in our world we'll do it because we're going to make a little extra money, and then your family understands that. In the rich man's world, when you already are rich and you don't have to do it, that's going to be the problem in some of these leagues. That some of these players that already have the money, they're going to say, I'd rather not take the chance. I'll take the year off.
When you have money, you don't have to make compromises, man. You can say, you know what? No.
I'm not doing it. All right, let's take a break. It is 2 o'clock. We got an hour left. If you want to get in, you can chime in on the YouTube chat board, of course, the Super Chat. We haven't had a Super Chat today. You can also send us an email, Orlando@BigORadioshow.com, on Twitter @BigOShow, on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, I got some football things I want to talk about. I got a hockey thing I want to mention. I got an MJ thing I want to talk about. I got a couple of NFL things I want to talk about. I want to talk about a disgusting human being also. I want to get into a stupid human being, and also a dude with a funny name is in the news. I mean, I don't even know if I'll be able to get to all of this in the next hour, but we will try. Back with more live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Let's take a break. Back with more.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
And by the way, I guess it came in during Michelle Kaufman's interview, and I didn't notice it. The Duck Dog 1104 with the super chat. Thank you, Duck Dog. I appreciate you with the super chat.
I guess asking you shall receive.
That's right. That's right. No, he actually did it before. So
Okay.
he put, great job, Big O. You the man. I appreciate you, Duck Dog. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, brother.
I scrolled up and down the thing, and I saw it there. One Louis Don says, "Damn, so no free testing in South Florida, North Florida, Tallahassee area been doing free testing for a month." Yeah, I got to get me a test. I got to get a test. I gotta check it out, man. There we go. So appreciate you out there as always, Duck Dog. Thank you all. Thank you all for supporting us the way you do. Finn Strong One says, "What's up, Big O? We're living at different times now. I understand that they're young, with a lot of them have plenty of money. After being tested by your team, curfew is 11 p.m. If you are something team, stay home or something. I don't know. Anyway, listen." In the end, man, this is going to be a real challenge for them to be able to control the entire environment. It's just so tough with a virus. And look, I understand that we've got to get to a point where we start opening things up. The thing is, there's a new norm now, ladies and gentlemen. And you need to wash your hands a hell of a lot more. And you need to wear a mask when you go into places and when you travel and things like that. And there are just things that we're going to have to do nowadays that we didn't do in the past. That's all. And if you only washed your hands once a day or twice a day, well, now you got to wash them 4, 5, 6 times a day. Just to lower it, man. You know? So let's see what happens. Hopefully we can just be smarter, all of us, from here on out, and maybe we'll be better.
You know what? I just thought of another one.
What's that?
Every place having automatic doors, man. You don't have to touch door handles anymore. Automatic doors, man, across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's that'll be something that is, but that's why you got to wear gloves. You know, I got to tell you, I've been doing this for several years now. If I have to pull on a door, I grab the bottom of my shirt, and that's how I grab the door. I've been doing that for years. Okay? That's nothing new for me. I haven't wanted to grab door handles in forever. And if I have to push the door in, then I push it in with my shoulder, my body, and I don't touch the door. But if I have to grab it, I'll get the tip of my teeth, my fingers, I'll get the bottom of my shirt, and then grab the door that way. And I don't touch the door.
If it's an out, it opens out, and I got my hands full, I usually just take my foot and just push it at the bottom and just open it and walk through.
Or you hope that you catch it when somebody else is opening.
And plant your foot.
And plant your foot and all that. But this is our world now, man. This is our world. And you've got to try to not touch as many door handles as possible. You got to try to not shake hands as much as possible. Say, yo, what's up? Elbow, whatever, but stay away from the handshakes. It's something that's very common in our world. In my world, there's a lot of handshakes and a hug a lot of times. When you have a good friend, you now we can't do it, You still have love for the person and you still respect them and all that stuff, but we can't hug and we can't handshake anymore. These are just things that we have to do. You know what I was thinking about? Okay? How do hookah bars now survive? How do cigar bars now survive? Because if you're purposely smoking and shooting out smoke, so now your COVID, if you have it, travels farther because you're smoking a cigar. How does a cigar bar now survive? How does a hookah bar survive? Tell me. There's no way you go to a cigar bar now. It's really screwed up. Because, Talking is one thing, but can you imagine if you're purposely smoking? And any of us that smoke cigars like I do, and you take a nice drag and you let it out, man, that thing is going to travel 20 feet. I don't even know how cigar bars will survive this pandemic now. I don't even know how you go to a cigar bar now, knowing what you know about COVID and the risk of it. Okay? Mike No Go Zones goes, damn, I miss cigar bars. I'm with you, man. I love enjoying a cigar myself, and everybody knows that, but think about that. Yeah, Ken Walker goes, cigar bars are probably done. Yeah? I don't know how you walk into a cigar bar now. Okay? One guy says, I have heard COVID does not survive in nicotine. Super Boom Shack, does anybody know everything about COVID? Are they sure? I know this. I'm not taking it. I love cigars. And if I'm going to enjoy a cigar, it will be in my backyard where I'm just shooting it out into the air and it goes into the stratosphere and it's done. But for that business, that's going to be a really tough one for that business.
That nicotine thing goes right there with that. Remember the beginning? Take a hairdryer and it'll get it up to 130 degrees up in your nasal passages and have a little bottle of mist water to keep it cool, and you'll kill it.
Yeah, right. Ray says, Big O, on a side note on the Tua and when he should start, I really, really think that the offensive line needs to gel first before putting the kid out there. No question. Yeah, well, that's what we've talked about. Some guy put out a little bit ago. Let me see. I can probably find my text that I sent him a little faster. I did. No, that was the one that Dean. There it goes. Pete Martinez. I don't know if Pete Martinez is still with us here or he left the chat board, but Pete put, let me see here. Pete put, where is it here? He put a really stupid and ignorant tweet out there. And I told him, I said, hey, thank you for the ignorant tweet. He basically said, for $30 million, Tua better be starting in week 1. Which is like stupid to say that. First of all, Tua's not ready to take an NFL hit probably in September. So why would he play in week 1? And it's a shortened off season where he's not really going to he has no mini camps going on. There are no mini camps. You guys know that there would have been a mini camp last weekend. So Tua misses all the mini camps. I don't know if training camp starts on time and it's limited. I don't know if preseason's full or it's limited, and you want him to start in week 1. And then the other thing we've all talked about is you got to have the offensive line play well, because if Fitz is running for his life, you can't put Tua back there to run for his life. So that was the text that came in on the YouTube chat board that I was like, it's just some people don't get it. You just think about the money. And by the way, $30 million is garbage for 4 years. That's not a lot of money anymore. Not in their world. Don't think of our world. Okay? All right? In our world, $1 million is awesome. But $30 million over 4 years is garbage.
7.5 a year. Come on, man.
It's nothing. Okay?
That's not even a good backup money, right?
No.
Good backups are 10 to 12, correct?
Maybe, yeah. No, I mean you might be able to get one for 7 nowadays, because look at what Teddy Bridgewater had to do and Jameis Winston. They signed some really cheap contracts. But yeah, Julius 305 in the super chat. Thank you, sir. Julius 305. I think you're doing the super chat every day, man. Thank you so much. Donating to Big O's cigar bar at home. Thank you, Julius. Appreciate that. That's very nice. That's very nice. I like that. Dirk Schmeier says, missed them too, doing it all along on my backyard That's the best way right now. That's the best way. We have no choice. You know? But anybody that would think, oh, you got to have Tua start week 1, no, man. There's no hurry for any of this. Okay? They're rebuilding. It doesn't happen overnight, and they're not going to become a great team overnight. I would love for that to happen, but it's not going to happen overnight. There's no hurry with Tua. Okay? You know, we haven't had a real quarterback since Dan Marino retired. All right, we've had a couple of guys that resembled it but wasn't really franchise guys. You know, Pennington kind of resembled it, but in the end, he was too brittle to become a franchise guy anyways at that point. You know, we've had a couple of guys that did a serviceable job overall, but they haven't had a franchise guy. You have a franchise guy now. We don't need to hurry up the Tua thing and ruin it. All right? Let's take care of the kid. Let's pace it. We know he's injury prone. We don't need to force it. Mike Dominguez says, I'm not worried about Tua. He needs the year off anyway. I feel bad for Rosen, who now has 2 years of bad O-lines, and now COVID-19 is ruining his third season. I do feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. You know, I didn't get into the conversation before, but I kind of feel bad for Cordrea Tankersley. Because Cordrea did not start off well. I'm with you there. He hasn't really shown you anything yet. But then he got the injury. And then that set him back. And now he's coming back for his third year, and he's got studs all over the place with X and Jones, a first-round pick in Noah, and they're trying to talk about maybe even signing Logan Ryan. So, I mean, what more do you want from these guys? If I'm Cordrea Tankersley, I'm like, damn, dude. It's almost near impossible. I got to deal with Nick Needham also. I got Bobby McCain. How the hell am I going to survive here? The super chat is lighting up now. Tommy Italian 305 for life. Love it. And Tommy Italian 305 for life is asking, Big O, do you think Tua should get at least 4 games in this season? You know what, Tommy? I can't put any number on it. I think you got to wait till the O-line is playing well. They're mathematically ineligible. And that Tua is obviously ready to take a hit. So maybe he plays 6 games or 7 games. Maybe he plays 2. I don't know. Maybe he plays 0. Maybe the line doesn't gel. I'll give you an example. Austin Jackson plays well, and Flowers at left guard. But from center, right guard, and right tackle, you struggle and you rotate guys and all that, and Fitz is having issues in the offensive line. You can't put Tua in. You can't. You just can't do that to the kid. So I don't know. I can't put a number on it. Again, I'll go back to what I initially said. Let's not hurry the process. Let's just hope that Robert Hunt figures it out quickly, right? And whether it's Dieter or any of the other guys at right guard, whatever. Let's hope, Karras does well at center. Let's hope that left guard and left tackle settle in. Those are the things we got to hope for. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that line settles, QB settles down, wide receivers will play better, running back is good and effective, all of those things. Man, you guys are the super chat is chiming in, and one of my favorite things, the stickers. So John Dirkschmeyer has chimed in with the sticker, and again, I love the stickers. It says, keep it up. Thank you, John. I appreciate you chiming in with the super sticker on Super Chats. Thank you, sir. Appreciate all of you out there. The kids who grew up during this pandemic are going to end up being a bunch of Howie Mandels.
Who said that?
Ryu said it.
That's awesome, bro.
How's it going, Ryu? I mean, we're all going to become a bunch of,
to a
Howie
degree.
Mandels.
To a degree, yeah.
Yeah. I was a little bit of a Howie Mandel already as it is. Like I told you, I've been using the gas gloves for a while, for years now. I don't touch door handles anyways. I use my shirt. I've been kind of a Howie Mandel guy. I've always been the shaking hands guy and the hug guy. That is the part that I'm going to have to really eliminate from my game. I now use my own pen. Okay, I always have a pen or two in my car, but now in pickup, I get off with the pen just in case I have to sign.
Are you going to become a pocket protector guy, man?
No, not pocket protector, but I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna take my own pen. I got it right. I mean, aren't you all at that point now too that you're using your own pen? I gotta limit the the other day I think I told you when I went to IHOP, the guy whipped out the receipt and the pen. I go, oh, wait a minute, and I went back to my car to get the pen. Came back to sign my receipt. I refused to use the pen that was there. The guy goes to me, smart move, dude. First person I see that does that. I don't know, but to me, that now becomes a part of my life that I have to have. I have to have a pen now. And that's how we get. Hey, by the way, okay, it's not just about COVID. You know what? You're going to get the flu less now when you do this. And I got no problem with that. I work with my voice every day for 3-4 hours a day. I'm good with that. Alexa V, we love you, Alexa V. There's V in love, right? Alexa V chiming in with plenty of love as always on the super chat. Thank you. She says, "Oh, I got my Tua jersey. It gets to me in September." Nice. Well, make sure you all take pictures with your Tua jerseys and send them to us at Big O Show on Twitter or on my email at orlando@bigoradioshow.com. Send us any of those pics with the Tua jerseys. I will admit I looked it up, but they didn't. They were out already. They had 4XL or something, and that was. And I wanted the Aqua one and throwback. I don't want the new one. I want throwback Tua, Aqua. That's what I want. And they were kind of out of it already for my size, at least. No XL. I would have bought the 2XL. Would have been a little big on me, but they didn't have XL or 2XL. They didn't even have 3. I wasn't going to get 3XL. That's crazy. But they had 4XL. And I wasn't going to get that. So there you go.
Yeah, you want a jersey. You don't want a moo-moo.
No, yeah. Yes, and place credit cards in easy, accessible, and clean areas. Yes.
Bro, before I'm walking into the store, I pull my credit card, got it in my pocket.
Yes.
Got my gloves on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have everything in your pocket ready to pull. No digging, no.
My wife wipes down the credit card after it's used.
And as soon as I get in the car,
when she gets it back from the person, she wipes it, because even if they have a glove and they hand it back to you, they're touching all the other cards with that glove and money and all that. So then she wipes down the card right after. It's ladies and gentlemen, it's a different world, man. It's a different world.
My routine, because I got the mechanic gloves, I pop them off. I set them down on the floor, and I got my spray for the material, and I let it sit there, and hopefully when I close up the car, it's in the sun and getting the heat, and kill it.
There you go. You got to do that, man. Got to do that. Alexa V says, I do that too. She also says, laughing my ass off. Love you, oh. Thank you. Appreciate you. Tommy Italian for life chiming in. Thank you again, Tommy. NorCal says, if you want a Tua jersey now, build a custom jersey. It's a little more money, but it'll fit. Really? But I think I went to custom yesterday, because that's the one with the double zeros. And they didn't have anything till 4XL. I'm pretty sure that's what I did yesterday. What's it called, NorCal? I think I went to the custom one because that's the one with the 00 and the Aqua Classic jersey. And I could not get it. I could not get the XL. Let's see. RC in the 305 says, I've never worn another person's jersey. My coach in high school taught us that. Only wear your own. It's disrespectful to the game. Jerseys are earned by the real players. Yeah, but we're not playing, bro. It's fans. It's fun. I don't care about that. RC in the 305, you're taking it too serious, okay? It's like going to play pool with this jerk over here, okay? This guy pulls out all the rules on you. He wants to play like, you know, like you're playing some pool tournament. And I'm like, yo, dude, I'm just playing pool. You know what I mean? This guy is like a professional, and he's like whipping out the racks and the little things and everything. I mean, it's just everything. It's like it's boring. It's like, come on, bro.
Sorry, man.
I'm not Minnesota Fats. I may look like Minnesota Fats, but I'm not Minnesota Fats. You know, here's St. Louis Skinny here, and he's like, you know, doing all kinds of trick shots and stuff. No, you hit the white ball off 2 rubbers. No, you can't do that. You can only have one condom.
Call your shot, man.
Yes, call your shot. Don't use the bumper twice.
If you're going to use the rail, say you're going to use the rail. If you're going to use it twice, say you're going to use it twice.
This guy wants you to call the rail off the wall. You know, it's like that McDonald's commercial with Bird and Jordan back in the day. You know, that's this guy playing pool. It's a pain in the ass. Joe Miller says, got to be careful touching buttons. I'm with you. Buttons forever, okay? Knuckles. I don't use the finger. For years now, I never use my index finger to press anything. I use the knuckle. Because the index finger is what you're going to do to touch your face usually. The tip of your finger, more often than not. You're going to pick your ear, you're going to pick your nose, you're going to pick your eye. So if you're using your finger and pressing buttons, then you're going to touch yourself, and then that's when you get it.
Because of you, I dude, it's almost every time now. Hey.
Knuckles.
I got to pull the O.
I've been using knuckles with buttons for years. I told you, I've been a little Howie Mandel for a while now. For a little while, I've already been the Howie Mandel. Now I've become even more. I have 5 stents in my heart, too. What else am I going to do? I got to do that. I got no choice. By the way, have you noticed when you're watching the news nowadays, and because we're home more often, you watch probably the news more now than you ever have. Have you guys noticed that because everybody's home, okay, and there's less news, the news is repeating stories like crazy, man. It is like lame, bro. Have you noticed that? It's like, oh, I saw this story 2 days ago. I saw this story last night. And it's
a lot of recycling, man.
Man, they are recycling stories left and right. And that's because there's less crime going on right now because less people are out on the street. Like most of my newscasts are recorded, right? Thank the Lord. And I'm fast forwarding through newscasts like within 10 minutes because there's only a couple of different stories. That's it. And they repeat a whole. Have you noticed that? That's been one that's been kind of frustrating. And I say that only because, I don't know, I try to come on here to do, 3 hours every day and try to do a different 3 hours than I did the day before. You know what I mean? And I try to come up with different stories and different angles and different things to talk about. Speaking of talking about different things, let's definitely tell you about Toyota of Hollywood because they are the dealership of choice. Last 6 years in a row, the number one volume Toyota dealership. If you're thinking about buying a Toyota, if you're thinking about leasing a Toyota, you only go to one place, and that's at 1841 North State Road 7, folks. Go see all the great people out there, Steve Ostrov and Herbie and Gary, Rick, Eddie, Joel, just some amazing people out there. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you, okay? Mention it to everybody. Tell them, hey, O says that you're going to take care of me if I buy or lease a vehicle here. You can also do it online by phone. They'll deliver it right to your home. They're going to give you 90 days, no payments. So whether you're buying or leasing, you got a break for 90 days. Go out there, 1841 North State Road 7. You can call them just a couple blocks south of that big, beautiful guitar right on the turnpike. It's Toyota of Hollywood.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
But I did do... But I did...
no one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
GP Trap Hewitt says, I wash my hands first, then pick my nose. Okay, that's, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You can wash your hands first, then pick your nose. Hopefully you wash your hands after that, too.
Bro, you know what you do? You just pick your nose with your elbow, bro.
You know where I'm at also? You want a Howie Mandel moment? Are you guys ready for this? I go into the bathroom now. I wash my hands. Then I go to the urinal. Then I wash my hands again. How about that? What do you think of that one? How extreme is that one?
I think it's smart, bro.
Definitely. Why do I want to put just crap on my pecker? You know? It's no. You know, wash my hands. I got clean hands when I go to the bathroom, and then when I'm done, just in case, obviously, because urinals, you know, stuff is going to bounce back, you go wash your hands again.
Don't be like that guy that...
I guess when you got 2 pennies in your pocket, you can't even afford to clean the bathroom. Tommy Italian 305 for life says, I grew up going to Hollywood Beach, Johnson Street, baby. I don't know what that is, Tommy. You must be in another conversation. Oh, I see Alexa V is talking with Tommy. Okay, so you guys are talking about something else. Okay. I don't know. You guys, you confuse me sometimes. I look down and try to, you know, maybe get into answer a question that you guys may be asking and all that. You know, I may only have to like reach for the super chats because those are the obvious ones that they're asking me something. Because the other way I look down and it's like, okay, then I ran into something that had nothing to do with the show. You guys are a trip. I see where Drew Lock from the Broncos, he wants to go out. And I really like this, okay? Even though the kid makes me a little nervous when I saw him rapping on the sidelines towards the end of the season in this last or second to last game. And I know he played well to end the season. But it's a pretty cool story because obviously when John Elway drafts you and you're a quarterback, your dad or your big brother or your uncle probably told you, yo, that's John Elway, bro. That guy was one of the badasses of all time. So I would imagine that you want to make him look good, okay? And as nervous as he makes me, Drew Lock was one of my guys last year. Jarrett Stidham and Drew Lock were the two kind of project guys. This year I had a longer list than last year. Last year I only had two guys. Stidham and Drew Lock were two of the guys that I liked. Second round and on, guys that were like projects. And this year it was Nate Stanley, it was Jordan Love, although Jordan wasn't a second rounder, he was a first rounder. Anthony Gordon, the Kevin Davidson kid, James Morgan, Jake Luton. It was a longer list of project guys that I like, that I thought have NFL skill sets. Whether you can develop them into that, who knows, man. We know most of these guys are going to fail because that's just the way it goes. But Drew Lock told James Palmer of the NFL, he goes, I know there's been a lot of talk about the quarterbacks in Denver, Lock said. You know, Peyton was the man there, obviously. We had some good ones and up and down QBs in there, and I didn't want to be that for John. I want to be a steady guy for him. I wanted to show everybody that they drafted the right quarterback. And when I read that, yesterday, I think it was last night when I saw this article, or this morning, I forgot. It all runs into one. But I thought of him rapping. And no, but wait a minute. You're going to laugh at that because you're going to think, well, I thought of him rapping and that made me nervous. But then I thought of him rapping and I said, here's a kid that in today's world, that's how he displays his confidence on the sidelines. By a song that he heard in the stadium, and he is grooving to that song and rapping. And while we're not used to a quarterback rapping, we did have a quarterback with a fur coat and shades sitting on the sidelines in the 60s. Right? I mean,
wearing pantyhose in commercials.
Right, but the pantyhose, that's a commercial. In the middle of the game, my man is wearing a mink coat and sunglasses. That's as G as it gets. That's worse than anything Drew Lock has done so far. But then again, up until that point with the fur coat, Joe Namath had accomplished more than Drew Lock. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why he was also, I could wear the fur coat. I can put on leggings. I can have all the ladies after me every single night. I can have my own famous bar in New York City. There were a lot of G things about Joe because he was kind of a G. Now, Drew Lock has not developed into a G. But what I like is he's aware of it all.
You can't have swag until you've done something swag?
Right, exactly. But what I love about this for him is that he's not downplaying anything else that's gone on. He knows who John Elway is. He knows what Peyton Manning is. And then he knows about the bad history that John Elway has, that he can't find a young quarterback. So he is taking on that challenge. And I love the fact that he wants to be the guy that bails John out. So I kind of, there's a little part of me, I like Drew Lock anyways, as it is. I was on record last year.
Sounds like the kid's got a little bit of the it.
Right, that he's got that swag, and now we'll see if he can live up to it. But I thought it was kind of a cool story. And it kind of took me back to that rap. And I said, okay, it's not a kid being irresponsible. It's not a kid not taking it serious. It's a kid that this is how he is. And look, man, everybody's different. And you can't be Joe Namath, and I guess you can't be Drew Lock. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that it's just everybody's a little different, and I love that part of him that he goes, I know there's been a lot of talk about the quarterbacks in Denver. Peyton was the man there, obviously. We had some good ones and up and downs with QBs in there. And I didn't want to be that for John. I want to be a steady guy for him. I wanted to show everybody that they drafted the right quarterback. I like that, man. I saw that story, and I was like, you know what? Drew Lock, you show me a little swag, and you know exactly, you're aware of your environment and what's expected of you, and so you're willing to meet that challenge. You're not downplaying it like, it's no big deal. Hey, I'm just trying to figure things out. No, dude, you're the quarterback. They need you to become the guy. And they spent, I forgot what pick it was in the second round, but, they spent a pretty high pick on the kid. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, let's do this. Let's call George Richards right now so we can talk a little Panthers with him real quick and get the latest on what's going on with the hockey season. Will it come back? Will it come back just for the playoffs? Is the regular season going to be played? Are they going to extend the playoffs? Because that's the only way maybe the Panthers could make the playoffs. So let's find out more with, of course, Mr. George Richards. He's going to join us now in a minute. Rosendo says, Big O, I like your thinking, but since you're out of studio, you should be wearing gloves and a mask. Well, I can't do the show with a mask, my man. I can't. Okay? You're right, I probably should be wearing gloves, but I don't touch anything except all my stuff here on this table. And I've washed my hands twice already in the show. Okay? Actually, it's 4 times because I went to the bathroom. So I've washed my hands 4 times. So I'm good, and I don't shake hands with anybody. This is my mic I use every day. These are my iPads every day. These are my papers, my phone, my keys, my bottle of water. I don't touch anything that isn't mine, and nobody else has touched this. And Rudy Gobert isn't around here to screw it up either. So, but I appreciate you looking out. I am looking out in my own Howie Mandel way.
Oh, I got George Richards for you, sir.
All right, you have the legend that is George Richards. Yes, sir, from The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at George Richards. Catch his work there. He caught my eye with his article on Dale Talon. And let's bring him aboard. George, how are you doing, my friend?
Orlando, what's going on, bud?
Loving life, my man. Just trying to survive, trying to stay COVID-free. How about you? You COVID-free and family, everybody COVID-free?
Yeah, everybody's good. We're just hanging around like everybody else, I guess.
All right, so what's the latest, my brother? What's going on with Okie? Are they going to sequester everybody? Are they going to put them all in North Dakota or some crap like that? What are you hearing overall from the league right now?
Well, right now everybody's staying pretty quiet. I mean, the NHL is working with the Players Association just like the NBA and Major League Baseball and everybody else, just trying to figure out what they can do. Right now, nothing has changed since, they shut things down on March 12th. But I think in the next couple of days we may hear something. The order was extended. It should be expiring hopefully in the next couple days, maybe by early next week. We may find out that phase 2 will kick in and players will be able to, at least in small groups, at least return to the practice facilities, like the NBA appears to be doing. So, that'd be a big first step. And then maybe we can, if things go well, hopefully there's no more setbacks and this can be done safely, and maybe we'll have training camp in a couple weeks or, in the next month. But, there's still a long way to go, but we may know some news here in the next couple days.
All right, yeah, I would imagine that we should find out whether the season is over for some teams. Do they come back to play the regular season, or do they just go straight to the playoffs, right?
It sounds like what everybody, what the national guys are hearing is that you're probably going to have right now I think the most popular thing is 24 teams going straight into the playoffs after a training camp. Leaving 7 teams out. It would be tough. I mean, the Detroit Red Wings, their season, there's teams like that. Their season's been over since, the second week in October. They've got guys in Europe. You're going to bring them back to play, 5, 6, 7 regular season meaningless games for them. And I don't think there's a big hunger for that. But 24 teams, it gets you, anybody that was decent enough, start some sort of playoff, and at least you get something. So we'll have to wait and see what officially happens. But, that's what it sounds like. 24 teams to start off with. The other 7 teams are just done, and go from there.
That's some cheesy ass stuff, right? To expand it to 24. Why? Really? That's what they're going to do? I hate that plan. You're going to put.
Well, what else?
I would go straight up 16, dude. So whoever, the same 16 that are eligible, those are the ones that should make it. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you can't do that with 13 games left, because everything comes down to the last weekend. You shut it off without any warning. It's not like you said, okay, you guys have 2 weeks left. All right, of the 13 games, we're only going to play 5. Teams had 10, 11, 12, 13 games left, and to just say, okay, that's it, we're stopping it. That's, it doesn't seem real fair. That knocks out a lot of big market teams. They're trying to recoup some money here television wise. They want to get as many teams as they can back into this. If you're just going to say it's just going to be the 16, well, then you're going to have everybody saying, well, then let's just finish the regular season, then get all 31 back into it, and let's finish this thing. And I don't think that there's a big hunger for that.
Right, exactly. And so let me ask you, when it comes to testing, what are you hearing, George? Because I still feel that if pro sports are going to come back, they have to be able to test these guys every single day. And we don't have mass testing yet in this country.
No, we don't. And that's going to be something that the medical staffs are going to have to deal with. Getting the tests, I assume is fairly problematic just because they're not available for people who need them. That's something they're all going to have to work out. And whether it's, I'm sure there's going to be, constant, temperature checks and that kind of thing. I think for the beginning, you're just going to have small gatherings, and they're going to test it as they go, and then see where they are in a week to 10 days, and maybe test, intermittently. I don't think you're going to see tests every day. I don't think there's just not that many tests available. So that's something they're definitely working through, and I would think that that's at the top of the list right now. It is how do they bring guys back and make sure everybody's okay? Because it's not just players. It's going to be the medical staff. It's going to be the equipment managers. It's going to be the coaches. It's going to be everybody that deals with these guys on a day-to-day basis. So when you're looking at just the NHL, that's, let's say that they go to 20 teams. That's 20 teams. You're going to have expanded rosters. So instead of, you're going to have 30 players and everybody else, you're looking at 40, 50 people per team. That's a lot of testing, and that's something they're going to have to figure out.
Okay, now I forgot. Did you say they are going to try to sequester them? Is that the plan, or are they going to be able to travel from city to city, or are they going to try to regionalize it? How do they break down that final 13? How do they do that?
Well, the other big rumor is that they're going to have maybe 4 pods, 4 cities, where you're going to split everything up. And play games there. So I'm just thinking, let's just, put somewhere that's got a lot of ice, someplace that's got a lot of hotel rooms, that you're going to be able to put a team in, keep teams together. It's not going to be here. Let's just make that clear. But, a place like, I don't know, Columbus, Ohio, let's say, where the practice facility is attached to the rink. They've got plenty of locker rooms. They've got plenty of ice around. They've got a downtown with a lot of hotels. I think what they're going to do is they're going to pick 4 geographic locations and put a bunch of teams in one city and and see what happens. That's what baseball was talking about doing. Now it looks like baseball is going to use home stadiums and such. Again, we're going to have to see what happens, because not only are you going to be putting a bunch of teams, but you're going to have television crews. You're going to have all kinds of other stuff going on around these teams. So there is a lot to work out.
George Richards, of course, from The Athletic, covering the Florida Panthers on a daily basis. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter like I and so many others do, at George Richards. George, in your article, you talked to Dale Talon, and he kind of gave you a heads up that it could be a very busy offseason. The question I have is, why the hell are the Panthers ownership group going to give him another offseason?
Well, he's been here 10 years. I think that they like the front office that they've got. I mean, it's not just Dale Talon anymore. I mean, I think it was at the very beginning. It was Dale Talon with, Bill Torrey helping out at the beginning. But I think lately, he's got a consortium of guys in that front office. You've got Chris Pronger, Roberto Luongo, Eric Joyce is his assistant GM. You've got a lot of voices in that room. It sounds like business as usual. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. But
10 years, 2 playoff trips, maybe a third. He's been a failure, bro. I mean,
you can't argue with the results. But when you look at where this organization was, and
I gave him every break in the book every single year, bro. But this has to be the final straw already. I mean, the team he built is soft. The team he built is never tough enough to get over the hump. I mean, he just doesn't bring together that the ownership has to look. You know what? They might have been on to something a few years back. The problem is maybe Rowe was the wrong guy, but maybe they were on to something. Maybe Dale Talon needed to get the power taken away from him. I mean, how long, George, can you live off what you did in Chicago, my brother? It's 10 years. In hockey, my man, they change underwears slower than they actually change coaches. Okay, they fire more coaches and change underwears in that league. No one stays 10 years and accomplishes so little in the NHL. This is unheard of, actually, in the NHL. You know it. Guys win the cup, and in 2 years they struggle, they get fired in the NHL. Hell, I've seen a guy win a cup and get fired the following year after winning a cup in this league. How does Dale Talon survive 10 years of mediocre? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love George's speechless. He's got nothing to say.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm just trying to. What thinking have they told you? Have you asked them that? Have you asked them, like, okay, Dale's coming back. Like, why? What is it about him that they're keeping him? I mean, that's the part I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, they like the way that the front office is constructed. They like the things that they've done. Sometimes you just got to look at the team and say, how much, you look at this team on paper and it should be better than it is, and something's up. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Follow him on Twitter at George Richards. And, of course, catch his work there at The Athletic. And are you guys still giving away 90 days at The Athletic?
I think so. Yeah, I think we've got a free 90-day trial. So if you want to check it out, don't cost you nothing.
That's right. So check it out. Sign up to The Athletic. You get 90 days. You'll get George's coverage, Manny, all the great guys down here covering everything. George, as always, you're a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time, man. Much love.
All right, Orlando. Be good, my man. Take care of yourself.
Be good.
All right, bud.
There you go. George Richards, man. I mean, it is baffling. It just, I don't understand it. Like when I saw his article today and he tells George, well, it's going to be a busy offseason. I'm like, why? Why? Why would you keep this guy around? 10 years, man. 10 years and 2 playoff trips. And I got to tell you something. If the Panthers only make it because they expanded it, I'm not even counting this year for them as the playoffs. No, seriously. I'm not.
You're Big O. You have to be held to a higher standard.
No, I'm serious. If they expanded it to 24, your team 21. Why should I be impressed with that? If you're not one of the 16 best teams, then if you do end up playing the last 11, 13 games, whatever the hell it is that they have left, and you're not one of the 16 best teams, then I'm sorry, I'm not impressed with anything you've done. How much more can you tell me about Patrick Kane and everybody else in Chicago? Seriously. I mean, it just gets to a point where it's ridiculous with Dale Talon. So I don't know what structure they could like of that front office, because the front office is an absolute failure.
That's a pathetic playoff appearance.
I mean, come on, dude. Please.
You know what? If they do that, we should all go down there with our mask and this and all, and like we want to be different. Like we're not taking. We don't want to make a playoff appearance.
RC in the 305 goes, Chris Greer is okay, but not the Panthers guy, Big O. RC in the 305, Chris Greer just is in charge now, dude. I mean, RC in the 305, dude, if you're going to say something with intelligence. If you're going to say something incredibly stupid and ignorant, RC in the 305, then don't say it, because you look like a complete dumbass. Chris Greer just got in charge last year. From last year on is where you measure him. He has not been in charge for 10 years. He's been in charge for 1. He's totally in charge. He hired the coach. He handles trades, free agency, and the draft. He's in charge of everything. Now's when you judge him. If you're judging Chris Greer from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's really amazing to me how some of you still come up with that stupid-ass crap. I mean, really. RC in the 305, brother, check out, man. If you're going to say stupid-ass stuff like that, check out, brother. Don't post anything. Because, you expose yourself. Oh, it's really stupid, man. It's really incredibly dumb when people do that. The guy has never been in charge till now. And again, I keep asking the ignorant ones, why do you think every other general manager kept him around? When all your reports are online and saved on hard drives. They know exactly what you've suggested in the past. You tell me. I mean, just have some common sense. Bless, bro. RC in the 305, he's been in charge for 1 year of the team. Now's when you judge him. You judge him by Flores. You judge him by everything that's going on now. He's only done the draft for the last couple of years, and even with that, he still wasn't in charge of everything in the draft. He wasn't in charge at all in free agency or trades. That was all Tannenbaum or Gase or anything along those lines, and before that was everybody else. But if you want to keep on with that stupid-ass and ignorant-ass narrative, then go ahead, man. You keep sounding stupid, but I'll keep telling you and anybody else that brings it up, you're a dumbass. Okay? Because that's what you are. You're a dumbass if you think Chris Greer was in charge before the last calendar year. Okay? In charge is running everything. You blame Ireland, you blame Spielman, you blame Tannenbaum, you blame Wanstead, you blame Jimmy. Those are the people that have been in charge in the past. This is now Chris Greer's team. So from last year on is how you judge him. That's it. That's all you can do. He's not Dale Talon. Dale Talon's been in charge for 10 years. Again, you want to keep making stupid points, you go ahead. Okay?
I don't know how many times you have to hammer this home, bro.
It's ridiculous.
Between that and the Flores,
Eugene 96 says, Big O, you're giving RC too much time. You are right, actually. Yeah. It's you know what I should do? I should block everybody that says it. The next time somebody says Chris Greer is in charge, I should just mute your ass, and that's it. I never have to deal with you again. If I'm going to sit here and try to educate you because I know a hell of a lot more than you do about the team, and I know exactly what's going on, you don't. But if you want to keep saying stupid-ass crap and you're going to take up my space, we'll just get you out. It's pretty simple, man. You know, I can try to help you. If you don't want to help yourself, and I get it, bro. I get it. I see it with this whole COVID thing. If you're a Democrat, you think one way, and if you're Republican, you think the other way. You can't think for yourself on either side, but you'll think with whatever your party said. Mike, you won't be seen anymore on the chat board. Now you're gone, Mike. You can watch now. Now you won't be able to chat anymore. You've been blocked. 786-322-1105. You guys think I screw around, bro. You guys think I'm going to tolerate stuff and stupidity? No, man. I'll get rid of your ass right away. That's it. Pellegrino's gone. He won't be able to chime in anymore. He's done. That's it. Now I don't even have to see Pellegrino anymore. That's all. You want to keep? Go ahead. Do it. Go ahead. I'll just mute your ass. I'm good with it.
No more comments from Mars?
No more from Pellegrino. He thought I was joking around. You know. So there you go. Gone. See you, Mike.
Did it to himself, man.
See you, Mike. Have fun, my brother. You no longer are on the chat board. Anyway, so what else do we have to talk about? I do have a couple things that I do want to talk about, and I still haven't gotten to them, unfortunately. You know, yesterday we were talking about sports without the fans, and Sam Darnold was talking about that himself, and I thought he actually brought up something that's really, really interesting without the fans. And the NFL will open the season with empty stadiums, okay? So the word from Sam Darnold, he tells ESPN Radio, it would be a little bit different, obviously, not having the fans there, Darnold said. They're part of what makes this sport. The fans are really what makes sports great in general, just the atmosphere that they create in the stadium. Besides that, I think not having fans there, just being able to hear my calls pretty loud and clear, it'll be different to say the least. And I think that's the case. There might be a little bit of an adjustment period, but again, everybody's going to have to adapt and get used to it. Now, remember how I told you that we're going to hear the trash talking and all of that, and how Greg Hardy talked about this weekend on UFC 249, that he heard the announcers talking about things he wasn't doing, and he adjusted and ended up winning the fight, right? Well, the other thing about not having fans for you and me that's going to be kind of fun, and this is kind of a geeky thing that comes with it, all right? This is the best part about it. We're going to be able to hear all the calls too. We never hear the quarterback calls. We never hear the point guard. We see some fingers up or something, but we don't really hear what the play is. Now we're going to be able to hear it over and over and over again. And we're going to start to learn a little bit what some of these calls mean in a way. We're going to start to pick up on tendencies ourselves, because we're going to hear an offensive call and we're going to hear a defensive call. And then we're going to see the different adjustments that they make and how the offense moves and how the defense moves. Now, we're not smart enough and we're not as well versed as the players and the coaches, but there's going to be a little things that we're going to pick up from it. And that's actually going to be an element of the game that you and I have never been treated to. That's actually pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's going to be fun because of the trash talking with corner and a receiver talking with each other. But at the same time, the coach is screaming from the sidelines. And then the players reacting and making whatever changes. These kind of things. Oh, and here's the other thing. Because everybody can hear it, there might be more adjustment for them too now. They may have to change it up even more now than ever. And even the people that cover the sport, they're going to pick up on all that kind of stuff too. So it's a different thing. It's a different factor, a different element, let's say, to sports that we never had before until now. So as Sam Darnold will be able to hear his call, we'll be able to hear his call. And then the counter from the middle linebacker. And that part of the chess game is actually going to be a lot of fun. In the NBA, they're going to, point guard says run whatever play, and we're going to find out what play they're running. And again, they're going to have to change up a lot. What can I tell you? NorCal says, LOL, Big O on fire. Mike and RC going to need CBD. Yeah, come on down, baby. Get some CBD. Because you're not going to stress me out. Mike Pellegrino blocked his ass a long time ago, Myron says. Ken Walker, hopefully the new online blocks as quickly as Big O. Not playing around. No, we're not. I mean, if you're just going to do stupid, look, Pellegrino might be a nice guy, but he's nothing but a troll. All he does is troll all day long, bro. All day long. And so it's like, if you're just going to come on to be a troll, bring something.
It gets old.
Right.
It's
bring something.
Worn out.
Yeah. Bring something. Pellegrino brings the same stupid lines every day. Greer's terrible. He's been terrible for 20 years. Take a shot at me at something or whatever. And then that's it. There's no substance. There's no back and forth. There's no real questions.
You know what I call those people?
It's always a guy that wants to be a smart ass and whatever. And you know what? I'll have the last laugh in the end every single time.
Those type of people, man, I call them sandpaper. All they do is just rub. They're just sandpaper.
Yeah, dude. If you're just going to be a troll, we'll get rid of you, bro. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been getting rid of trolls forever. And I continue. So there's plenty of great people that want to take part in the show. And I'm actually a person that allows the listener to be a part of the show. Okay? Which you all know in real radio, they don't want any part of you guys at all.
It's not even allow. We want our listeners to be part of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all of us.
But if you're just going to be a troll, I mean, find something, dude. Just go play with yourself or something. Super Boom Shack says it'll be interesting to hear the referees talking also. Yes. Now, they're going to have to watch it because if any guys piss them off and they say things in between each other, nobody ever hears it. Now, they got to. Ken Walker chiming in on the super chat. Thank you, Ken Walker. Appreciate you. Ken Walker says, glad I found your show, Big O. Fins up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Tommy Italian 305 for life says RC in the 305 should be blocked. Same guy. Hey, he doesn't troll as much. He's just saying something really stupid about Greer that he doesn't get. That's all. He's not really a troll. RC in the 305 is just completely misinformed about Greer. That's all. There's a difference between...
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Only that?
Pellegrino's a troll. Pellegrino just wants to get a rise out of you, and he just wants to say stupid things. You know what I mean? And he probably believes half of the stupid things he says, so, he's also... But RC in the 305 is actually a more level-headed person. He's just completely misinformed here. That's all. Okay? Because I deal with him on Twitter. He's usually pretty good. But here on the Chris Greer thing, you're dead wrong. The guy's been in charge 1 year. 1 year he's in charge of the team. He hired the coach. He never did that before. He's in charge of all the trades. Never did that before. He's in charge of the entire draft. Never really did that before. Even though the last 4 drafts he had kind of a say in it, there were still a couple sprinkled in from other people. Okay?
Never hired a head coach.
Right. No. That's the first thing I said. It's what he is. RC goes, I'm no troll, just facts, bro. And you have a different opinion, but the facts are what they are. We have sucked since Greer's been there. Again, RC in the 305, which I'm about to block your ass too now. Bro, if they kept Greer around year after year and his reports are on a hard drive, what do you think, dumbass? RC in the 305, think, bro. Think. Obviously, he must be a hell of an employee and a hell of a scout because his reports must have been on target, but they don't follow him. Now they do. Now everything that goes on is under Greer's umbrella. Man, the ignorance for me is amazing. One more of those, RC, you're done. Okay? One more, done. Well, I don't need it anymore, bro. Okay? That's all. You got your warning, and it's over. All right? There we go. Director of scouting. Boom. Done. That's it. You're done. Boom. You wanted to continue, right? There you go. Title's one thing, bro. General manager's in charge. You can listen now, and you can't comment anymore. So you want to listen and watch, that's fine. You don't want to listen and watch, that's good too. I'm good with that. Did you guys see Johnny Manziel? His dumbass almost killed himself.
What did he do?
I mean, he's perpetually stupid as it is, okay? I mean, you're talking about a kid that's got everything in the world and has pissed everything away. So he's trying to do a backflip off a cliff into the water, and you got to see the video. He slips before he can do the backflip, and as he's falling, he doesn't hit the rocks. He reaches the water. You know what I mean? And then guys are like, "Hey, man!"
Does he skim the cliff going down?
No, he didn't.
Nothing. He got lucky.
He completely got lucky. Like he was able to come off the cliff a little bit, and then he fell.
You know, those are professional people. Even professional divers don't dive off cliffs. Those are cliff divers. But like Greg Louganis, jump off of cliffs.
But he was actually backflipping and everything. Not only was his dumbass trying to. I mean, look, I've jumped off a cliff into the water.
Let's increase the degree of difficulty, right?
I've done the bridge and the cliff thing into the water. Okay, but no flips, no none of that. I just, I've dove off the third bridge, in Virginia Key. I used to dive. The one cliff that I jumped off of was just feet, because I actually didn't know how deep the water. I knew it was deep enough, but I didn't want to go head first, so I just went feet first instead. Now at the third bridge, I knew how deep it was and I could dive, so I would dive there.
I've always done the dive. I don't like that stomach thing coming up. You know that.
It never
you know how
bothers
you
me.
jump off and the stomach comes. I hate that. I like diving. I like going upside down. I hate up and down.
It didn't bother me, but the idiot, I mean, seriously, almost killed himself. That guy, man. It must be nice to be able to be so rich that you can make every mistake in the world and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can be a complete screw up and daddy will always kind of cover up for you. You know what I mean? That's why the dude never made it in the NFL, because he never had the discipline, because he's been given everything. And he obviously had some talent, right? But he wasn't ever professional enough. And clearly when you watch him on the cliff, he's definitely not smart enough. Wow. I mean, that is amazing, dude.
I guess better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, I would say so. Tommy Italian 305 for life says, I used to go fishing there, Big O. And the third bridge? Yeah, that was a good place. We used to wait for the cops, because there'd be a cop every couple of minutes come by the third bridge, and you could not jump off of there, right? So we would wait for the we were teenagers, of course, and we moon the cops or whatever, and then we jump off the bridge. The cop would be pissed, okay? And just in case, if you're a Key Biscayne cop and you got mooned off the third bridge, there's a good chance that I was one of those guys that mooned you. And so what we would do is, there were so many people, we'd dive off or jump off, depending on what you wanted to do. Then we'd swim under the bridge, and that's it. The cop would never find you. He could never find you. And it was funny because the cop would pull up to the beach, then you'd see him walk, but they never would walk all the way to the water. They would walk out of their car for like 10 feet, look around and see if they could find the person. And they never find us, because we're under the bridge with 100 other people hanging out and laughing our asses off. Right? And then we see the cop pull away, and it'd just be a funny scene. Alexa B goes, thanks. So the chat is better. and peaceful now. So Alexa chimed in with another super chat just to tell us that, because she likes the way, the direction. Yeah, well, we got rid of the troll. What can I tell you? And then RC in the 305 has no freaking clue what a real general manager is. So, but that's how this world is, man. You can't tell. If somebody has a different opinion, they're just not going to change it. They're just going to look. They don't care what the facts are. You know what I mean? Forget it. No. Chris Grier must be terrible because he's around for 15, 20 years. Well, maybe he's around because he's actually really good. John goes, Grier showed his true colors by picking up Tua. Big cojones. I would have hated if the Finns would have passed on him. I get it. A lot of people would have felt the same way as you, John. Because a lot of people, when you have all those picks, it's worth taking the damn chance. I wasn't big on drafting Tua because of the injuries, but I came around the last couple weeks and I said, you know what? With all the picks they have, it's worth the gamble. What the hell? You hit on the kid, you win. You don't, you still should have a great draft. You know what I mean? From 18 on, you got to have a great draft.
I wasn't happy Thursday night, but by Monday, Tuesday.
You understand it.
And you know what?
It's an understandable risk.
All you got to do is keep the guy healthy. Get a strong offensive line.
Well, they did that too. They drafted a bunch of linemen.
The thing is, with Love and with Herbert, there's a gamble. They're really, you don't know what you're going to get.
I never bought Herbert. I don't think Herbert turns into that. I feel in my heart that Tua is a franchise quarterback.
Tua is going to kick ass if he stays healthy.
Right. That's it. That's how I feel about Tua. I feel Tua will be a good quarterback. All he has to do is stay healthy. I don't feel Justin Herbert will be a good quarterback.
You couldn't get, I don't think there's a better character kid in the draft.
No. Gus 1388 is chiming in, and he chimes in on the super chat. Thank you, Gus. Thanks for blocking Mr. Mineral Water. Mr. Mineral Water. Okay. I love it. Alex Diaz says, everyone sits there and says Grier sucks, this and that, because of the Charles Harris draft. People need to wake up. He missed. So what? His drafts have been better. Yeah, but you can't point at Charles Harris and then leave Minka out because he was a good pick. I know you were forced to trade him, but what are you going to do? Tunsil was a good pick, and I know they traded him, but they got a boatload of picks back. And Wilkins turned out to be so far a really good pick. So 3 out of the 4 first-rounders that he's technically kind of been in charge have hit. Look, man, you want to make it simple on your life? All you're going to do is get an ulcer thinking about what happened in the past, when it doesn't matter. What happens in the last calendar year since Grier took over, that's your new general manager. Since he hired the coach and on, that's how you measure him. From here on out is what you measure. From last year on. Now that he's now you know he's totally in charge. Just like all the other guys that Mike Tannenbaum and everybody else, all the other general managers that were in charge. Other people made picks. All those general managers didn't make every single pick. They leaned to some other people for some of their picks, and they were good or bad, whatever. But in the end, that general manager gets all the blame or all the credit. So since last year till now and moving on, now's when Chris Grier needs to get all of the credit or all of the blame. That's it. So in his first year, he tore it down. They won 5 games. Now let's see what happens in the next year. Do they win 6, 7, 8, 9, or do they regress and win 2 or 3? And then you can start to judge him. But if they win more, then he's making progress. That's all. I can't explain it any more than that. That's football 101. Mickey says, we got 12 to 13 picks next year. Future's looking damn good. Let's go, baby. And that's Chris Grier reforming the team and getting all of that draft capital so you can try to turn it over into a team. I don't know if it's 12 or 13 or 11 and 12, whatever, but they got a boatload of picks next year.
I want to say we had 11, and then we made the trade and picked up
Yeah.
When we traded the
that's
7th round pick, we got 12.
That's what the listener says. We got 12 or 13. Whatever. 11, 12, 13, whatever. We got a boatload of picks. That's all.
And you did say the compensatory situation for us next year is going to be just about nil, right?
Yeah, because we didn't lose anybody. I don't even think we lost anybody this year in free agency that signed a big contract. Last year, we had Jawan James and Cam Wake and those kind of guys. This year, I don't think there's a free agent we lost at all. No, I don't think we get any compensatory pick next year. Not one.
That's all right. We could ride into that thing with 12, man. We're going to be good.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think we have anything. Joe Tesori says, Big O, do you think we go after newly released Pro Bowl guard Larry Warford? We talked about this already. I don't mind as long as it's a 1 or 2 year deal. You can't give him a long-term contract and big signing bonus. If you can do that, then yes. I would do that. Okay? That I have no problem with. What else was there gonna? On a music story, there's a couple of things that I want to mention to you all out there, just in case if you are interested. Yeah. Everybody awaits word on Motley Crue's summer tour. Well, on Friday, May 15th, the crew will be hosting a virtual watch party for their biopic, The Dirt, inviting fans to join them right from home. The viewing begins promptly at 4 p.m. Pacific, so 7 p.m. Eastern for us. It offers a unique experience as members of Motley Crue, alongside unnamed special guests, will take part in special commentary coming in on the band's Twitter page. Fans are encouraged to participate in the conversation by following the Home Sweet Home hashtag throughout the duration of the film. So there you go. You can watch The Dirt, and then you can talk with the boys. That's pretty cool. I think that's actually a really nice thing that they're doing for the fans. The other music story that I saw, somebody was interviewing Bret Michaels, and Bret and Stevie Nicks back in the early 90s got together and did a song together. They wrote a song together. So a lot of people are asking back in 91, what happened when they got together? Did they get together? So the Fleetwood Mac icon hooked up with Poison singer when she was working on a retrospective album, Time Space. And in between, they created the song Love's a Hard Game to Play. In a new interview, Michaels asked how far those games went in real life. And he says, I know where this is going. Number one, she is awesome. We wrote an incredible song together. But the night before I came into town, we went out to dinner and had the best time. We laughed, closed the place down. We were up on Sunset Strip, a restaurant up there. The place closed down. We laughed, told stories. It was awesome. He added, the next day, they recorded the song. It was incredible. Sitting there, the way you dream it to be. You know, playing music. She's on the piano. I'm on the guitar. All great. But I say this with all respect. Beautiful woman all the way around. But there was no rock of love. However, he admitted it was good, though. There was tension. You know what I mean? So there you go. 91. She looks really, really good in 91. Okay? And he is kind of in his, in his heyday at that point. Poison is enormous still in the early 90s at that point. So those two get together, and somehow or another, we always have to, when we talk about actors in movies and they're somewhere in some country filming for months, and then you hear about a romantic love affair and they're cheating on their spouses. And there seems to be this thing when people have to work together for a while and they're in confined spaces. And then if there's an emotional tie like music or acting or something like that, that makes it even worse. And so people right away assume, well, okay, these two worked on a song together. they must have kind of, hooked up after, and that was not the case. Let's see. Pronounce my last name. You butchered it last time. George is sending in on the super chat. So is it George Albanese? Did I pronounce it right, George? Is it Albanese or Albanese? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not an easy name. It could be Albanese or Albanese, or maybe I'm wrong on both. There's a good chance, but George, thank you.
You get one more swing. You've got to. You go one more. Go ahead.
Well, he's got it. I can't think of what other. You tell me. How would you pronounce that name? Albanese or Albanese? Right? I mean, that's the only thing I can. You're gonna have to do
Albanese?
You're gonna have to do it phonetically for me there. Okay. George says yes. Albanese. Is it Albanese or Albanese? If it's Albanese, make the S large at the end, so I know it's Albanese or Albanese. Which one is it? Is it silent, or do we pronounce it even more at the end?
Is it Nice or Nice? That's it, right? That's what you're...
Bromar says Albanese, like Japanese. Okay. Albanese. So there you go. George Albanese. Thank you, sir, for chiming in on the super chat. That is very, very nice of you. Rosendo says, agree with you, Big O, with the Tua pick. I don't want fans to have that Drew Brees pick syndrome twice. Remember, the Drew Brees thing is twice, okay? It's that you pick Jamar Fletcher over him, and then you pick Culpepper over him. So it was like the football god saying, here's a quarterback. And you're like, yeah, I'll pass. And then a couple years later, the football gods come back to you and say,
you screwed up the first time. We're going to give you a second chance, right?
Here's a quarterback. And you're like, yeah, I'm all right. And then the football gods are looking at each other going, well, we tried to help these assholes, but they can't help themselves. We handed them Greasy. We handed them Marino. We helped them with Woodstock. We're handing them Breeze twice, and they tell us no. And so think about this. I just thought about this. If Tua succeeds, pay attention now. If Tua succeeds, that means we have people above us, the football gods, and they are looking out after us. Because they gave us Greasy. Because they gave us Woodstock. Because they gave us Marino. They offered us Breeze twice, and we said no. And now they gave us Tua. So Greer and Shula listened. Everybody in between was lost. Weirdest thing. I tell you. It's just weird. Football god's telling you, here's a quarterback, and you're like,
nah, we're good.
We're good. We're good. We're going to draft Pat White, bro. What's wrong with you? We're good. We got Cleo Lemon. We're good. Not Mrs. Cleo, but Cleo Lemon. Although I could say that Mrs. Cleo might have been a better quarterback than Cleo Lemon. I mean, there's a good chance. Okay?
You know what I noticed, man, the last couple of days?
Yes?
You're determined to do an hour at some point every show without a break.
Oh, I don't
You're
do
just
that.
like on a mission, man.
I don't do that on purpose.
Yeah, right. Tell that to somebody else, man.
Yeah.
I'm here every day sitting right next to you watching you do it. So you can sell that to somebody else, bro. I'm not buying.
Somebody says Mike is back like the clap, Big O. Where's Mike back? I don't see him. He's not on my he's not on my chat board. That's the thing. He's back for you guys. You have to block him, not me. I already blocked him. I don't see him anymore. You understand? They're gone. They've been blocked.
Oh, you can't excommunicate them from the whole group?
No, it's out of mine. No, I can't.
Okay.
I can't block them from their chats.
Right. Okay.
That's up to them to block him out. You have to take him out from yours. Okay? I have him out like there's, he could be saying whatever, but you're only
He's out like the trash.
Yeah. It's not I see nothing. So I don't have a problem with it anymore. Since 81 for me, the Chargers playoff loss was my first game I attended. I was hooked. That's what Rhino says. Mike P., the Rosen trade was garbage also. Why didn't they trade up a little bit and grab Dobbins? LOL. The Rosen trade? Josh Rosen was 2 years ago. Dobbins was this year. How are you mixing one and the other? Okay. Mike, pick the seeds out. You shouldn't be smoking the seeds. Just saying, bro. Mike Kid J, Lemon and Camarillo should have statues in Miami. LOL. Bromar says freaking Parcells drafted Pat White, Chad Henne, and that guy from BYU, John Beck, is what you're talking about. Yeah. And John Beck is such a nice guy. You know what I mean? Chad Henne's a nice guy too. Really is. They're all nice guys. I didn't get to know Cleo Lemon that well. He wasn't around long enough. The other guys I got to know a little bit more. Cleo looked like a nice kid, but oh God, I barely talked to that guy. So anyway, one guy goes, "Hey, that guy Mike P. guy is Pellegrino." I don't have a Mike P. on mine, bro. That's you guys, okay? I don't have any Mike P's on mine. No, nothing. I don't see any Mike P or anything. He's been completely blocked. So I don't know. Unless he opens a new account. Okay? And then he wants to go under
resurfaces incognito.
Right, yeah. Something like that. And eventually if I see it, then
you think he's going to try to infiltrate our group again, man?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I'll block it again.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
This is going to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah. So I'll just block it again. If I see a Mike P, I'll block it. Okay? Dean G says, I hate the Jets, but Pennington played okay for us. Yeah, he just was put together with Scotch tape. That was the bad part with Chad Pennington. That he just, didn't have durability. He had durability issues. It's funny how we can openly talk about how Pennington was injury prone, yet people will try to make a case for Tua not being injury prone, which is not true. He's injury prone, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but that's what he is. When you're constantly getting injured, you're injury prone. Okay? Let's just make sure we understand the definition. All right, it is time to wrap it up here on the show. As always, we appreciate all of you out there for keeping it locked here on the program. Appreciate all of our friends out here at VSS West Pines. We do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines. The ILX right now, $239. The TLX is $279. The RDX, $379. The MDX, $409. Only $29.99. Do it signing plus tax tag and registration, folks. That's why I want you to get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard. And don't forget, they're giving you $750 off if you're a first responder. If you're a veteran, $750 off. If you're a graduate, $500 off. So you can take advantage towards the purchase or lease of a brand new vehicle. You will get that off. So make sure you get on down there. Go see Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the phenomenal people at a dealership that is second to none and a proud sponsor of our program for 10 years now. And Wednesday and at noon. Normally we're on every day at 11 a.m. Tomorrow we'll be at Toyota of Hollywood at 11 a.m. But when we do it here on Wednesdays, we're here at noon broadcasting live.
By the way, their regular hours are 12. It ain't going to be 11.
Okay.
Whenever we're here, it'll be 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but when the pandemic is over, we'll get back to our regular time. Anyway, Jose, Jason, Alex, Tommy, you know what? I haven't even seen Sasha here in a while. I don't know. Is Sasha still here? I don't think so, right? Because I never see her on Wednesdays. Sasha here? No? Gone? History in the archives? On weekends. Oh, okay. So The reliable one, Sasha, is here on weekends. Okay, so you can catch Sasha doing her thing here on weekends. Everybody else, they're all here all throughout the week, man. So come on out, 12397 Pembroke Road, VSSWestPines.com. And again, it's where Barefoot Mailmen and Spencer's meet CBD. I'm telling you, you got to come on out here. Hey, listen, you like your cereal? Here's the kind of bowl where you can have your cereal and your smoke through at the same time. You can't beat that. You're eating your cereal and you're enjoying your CBD products. Because that's really the only way to do things.
Munchie Creator, and
Yes.
then it solves your munchies. It's right there in the
That's
bowl.
right. You want a creative ashtray? Here's a creative ashtray. You can leave your ashes, and you can light it up at the same time. Now, that's what I call the kind of see? Stash it there. Boom. You're ready to go. Spark it up. You got your ashtray. And this is a CBD plant. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, CBD. And remember, it's not illegal. It's not a drug. Doesn't get you high. It relieves stress. It relieves anxiety. It relieves pain. Okay? That's what it's all about. So love to all out there. Thank you all. Appreciate all of you out there. Let me see what we got. We got the Duck Dog 1104. We got Julius 305. Tommy Italian 305 for life. John Dirkmeyer, Alexa V, Omar Lopez, Ken Walker, Alexa V twice. Alexa twice. V, two. I see. I see what you were doing, Alexa V. The V is 2, so you had to chime in twice. I like it. Gus 1388, George Albanese. Got it? Albanese chiming in. Thank you, George. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, for keeping it locked on the program. Mucho amor. Be safe out there.
You finished with over an hour, bro. That's the way you finished out.
All right. Don't they get an hour straight of radio on the local?
Wrong answer.
No? All right. Did you notice? You saw the ratings. You want to know how bad terrestrial radio is? 560 and 790, right? 790 has all the live programming. 560 has one live show. That's Joe's. 560 has higher ratings, 0.7. And 790 with all the live hosts went down to 0.4. They can't get half a share. I guess people aren't listening to terrestrial radio. I'm just saying. It's kind of interesting. You know, that Len Weiner, he's a real genius when it comes to PPM. That guy took over at QM. He told everybody he was a PPM genius. Meanwhile, 790's at a 0.4. 0.4. Oh yeah, they got real genius people running that organization. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.
Everybody stay safe. Have a good night.
Some things are really entertaining.
We'll see you tomorrow.
That one's really entertaining.
At Toyota of Hollywood.
Be good. Much love.